Fanatic Best of Podcasts are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app.
B-Pod Studios.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Let the party begin!
The show starts now.
And we begin your Monday morning, the John Kincaid Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jamie Lynch is in Bob's chair. Egan's in his normal chair. Coach is here. Connor's here. Mike's here. And Bob isn't. And so that means that today Jamie's chair's empty. So that is all empty. Now, you didn't do the Bob thing at 5:58 and turn off the TV, Jamie. I guess you don't really have to do it today because nobody.
Well, yeah, it's not on YouTube
because nobody will be on. Nobody will be seeing the TV over your shoulder.
The powers that come with this chair are
it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
A little warmer as we get rolling this morning. All right, I just want to begin with this and let it be clear. Rhys Hoskins doesn't get it. He's lived in Philadelphia for how long? He doesn't get it. He's been a good guy in the community, too. But he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand you. He doesn't understand me. He doesn't understand the media. He doesn't understand expectations. He doesn't understand what it means to be in the crucible of Philadelphia sports. And I can't understand how he doesn't grasp it at this point. He certainly does not understand critique. When answering questions after the second loss in consecutive days that was directly attributed to his lackadaisical poor defense, he chose to give a lecture to the media. And yes, it was a lecture. He also thinks that the Phillies are a very good team. Do you know this about Rhys Hoskins? Do you realize, Jamie, in his last 18 games, how many of them do you think he's gone hitless in?
He had a cold streak there, so I'll go
18 games.
10.
Pat, you want to guess? His last 18 games.
Sure you're going to write about the...
Wrong button, Pat.
Yeah, it says.
I will go 12.
13. 13 of his last 18 games. He's gone hitless. And he still just has that uninspired glaze right over his face. The Hoskins era here is coming to a close, in my opinion. He's another guy with a one-dimensional game. Remind you of Ben Simmons? And the one dimension isn't even mediocre anymore. But the arrogance to tell the media and tell the fan base that it's a good team. And also to say, be sure you're right about the good stuff, too. It makes no sense. But his awful play doesn't either. I want the long cut first, so I do not portray him in a negative light as far as letting him hear his entire thought process of how he tried to explain how bad things were on Saturday after the second consecutive day his performance cost the team a win.
Sure you're going to write about the defense. Yeah, the last couple of nights we haven't made a couple plays that we should have, for sure. And I think I would definitely tell you that. I think Bomer would tell you that last night. So if you're going to write about that, obviously write about it, but don't forget to write about the great things today. Eflin outdueled DeGrom and maybe the biggest game of the year, right? A game that we knew that we had to win. We had great at-bats off DeGrom. I don't know how many strikeouts he ended up, but I'm going to guess it was a season low. You know, we had the lead going into the late innings again on the road in a pretty hostile environment today. So sure, write about the defense, write about how I didn't catch the ball, but just don't forget to write about the really good things too.
There is a psychological study somewhere in there. And I may get a sports psychologist or somebody to just break it down with us at some point. But there is a study in there of when asked about his own poor performance and how for the second consecutive day he cost the Phillies a win that could have been a sweep. We could have been talking about the Phillies being one game out in the National League East this morning, if not for his defense. In critical moments, in the worst games. He says we need to field the ball better. Not him. And then he says, you can ask me and you can ask Boehmer too. He points a finger at Alec Boehm and doesn't just answer for himself. He points the finger around and goes, well, it's not just me. Ask Alec Boehm too. My disappointment in Rhys Hoskins is beyond measure. And more importantly, what I'd like to know is, what the hell is the good stuff? And when did the media, I went and read every account. Every account bragged on Zach Eflin outdueling Jacob deGrom. Every single one of them. And the other day, when his poor defense screwed over Aaron Nola, every single account bragged on Aaron Nola. So it's a completely false narrative that he's trying to push, that there's you write about the good stuff too. Hey, Rhys, they always do. Stop deflecting. You're not Captain America and you don't have the shield.
Just don't forget to write about the really good things too.
What are the really good things? Jamie Lynch, what are the really good things?
Well, everything that they squandered with their poor defense. What the starters did this weekend in a huge series was incredible.
Incredible.
The four of them, even Matt Moore getting bailed out by a McCutchen home run save. What Aaron Nola did had only been done one other time in baseball history. Zach Eflin going toe-to-toe with deGrom.
And outdueling him.
Yeah, and coming up big versus a guy that's having the best career season in baseball history. There was good things. Unfortunately, those good things were all squandered by a lack of offense or the worst defense I've ever seen in a Phillies uniform. Rhys Hoskins and Alec Boehm, you can't continue to go on with the two of them playing your hot corners. You just can't. One of them has to go, and it's not going to be Boehm. So, unfortunately, we've talked about Rhys kind of being a logjam here. He's a logjam, and he's got to go. And at this point, I don't really care for much in terms of what we'd get back. I think he's just got to go, and it's nothing against him. He's got a good bat. He's just not suitable for the field of play in Major League Baseball.
Does he have a good bat?
He's got an okay bat.
Okay, tell me how many guys in baseball go hitless 13 out of 18 games? I mean, if you're talking about big money guys who make money, guys who are corner infielders that go hitless 13 of 18. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go as far as say I bet you couldn't find many.
You probably can't find a ton, for sure.
And so I don't even get...
I'm just kind of done with them.
I want to know what the good stuff is, though. And more importantly, what a false pretext, Pat, that the Philly media doesn't reflect on Zach Eflin. I heard you guys bragging on Zach Eflin. You and Tunis yesterday.
Yeah.
Bragging on Zach Eflin.
Well, they listened then.
The print media.
Yeah, they listened.
Yeah, they do. They always
listened to him.
No, they always would.
They weren't going to, and then they heard him say write about the good stuff, and they said, you know what, Rhys, you're right. We'll write about the good stuff.
The good stuff that you wasted.
This city always celebrates the good stuff.
Well, the media doesn't have to be fanboys. I don't know if this new generation of athletes expect the media to be, positive bouquets of flowers at their feet every day, but the media is a reflection of the performance on the field, and the performance on the field isn't good. So what are you expecting? Like,
Pat, these teams don't cooperate with the press the way that they used to. They hide out behind Zoom now where there's no reason to have to do that. They are the least cooperative they can be with as far as getting people to the media, getting them opportunities to speak. And yet the players seem to want the media to be fanboys.
Yeah, look, I think that looking back at it, Mary Todd Lincoln really should have talked about the good stuff from My American Cousin. The play was really good.
Other than the shooting.
Other than the shooting, the play, let's focus on the positive. Hey, what the hell is he talking about? You had a game, you had a series you needed to win, you botched it. Now, I give you credit for taking the Zoom call and being accountable when you probably could have taken the coward's way out and saying, no, I don't feel like looking at the media and I don't feel like answering questions. You could have done that. You didn't. So in a way, I go, okay, he's owning up to it. And then he comes out with this response. You cost them the game. 2 games. Both games. I was trying to think of the good stuff.
Both games. 6 a.m. sponsors Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White is here for the pro. He cost them 2 games. The Phillies, can you imagine, Jamie, we're coming in this morning talking about the Phillies sweeping the Mets and being 1 game out of 5.
We're back. It's an entirely different perspective on the second half of the season. It's an entirely refreshing feeling for this team.
Do you think he'd be talking about selling?
No, not at all.
1 game out of first, it changes everything. What Rhys Hoskins fails to realize is, first of all, hey, Rhys, we're not on your payroll. We're not on the payroll of the Phillies. We are not here to carry your water. We are not here to absolutely lick your boots. And it's ridiculous that in the opportunity, you just blew the second game in 2 days. Now, we don't even talk about Friday.
Yeah.
When the game was lost, Jose Alvarado absolutely threw a ball high. And I guarantee you, Freddie Freeman or other first basemen in the National League catch that ball 99 out of 100 times. But your sunglasses were on your damn hat. So the excuse that the sun was in your eyes is the stupidest excuse you could ever give. If the sun's in your eyes, take your designer sunglasses off your damn hat and put them on your face.
Well, that's not. We don't know that they were designer.
They're designer sunglasses.
We don't know. They could have been fake Oakleys.
I don't know about that. You don't think he'd wear knockoffs?
I think it's unfair to Rhys.
Pat, I would buy the knockoffs.
I think if he's financially,
if they were selling the knockoffs out of I had a fake tag here that I wore for 6 or 7 years that I bought out of a trunk of a car near Shea Stadium.
Nice.
And if anyone looked at my watch, they were like, man, it's nice tag.
Yeah.
Nice tag.
You're damn right.
It was so light.
It's all about who's rocking it.
It was so light.
We used to buy our fake Oakleys, the Folkleys, down at the Inner Harbor.
The Folkleys, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the Inner Harbor in Baltimore when they'd have all this table set up and you go get some new Folkleys.
It's all about who's rocking it.
Manhattan. What is the section in Manhattan?
Oh, Canal Street.
Canal Street. Where you Olivia bought a knockoff bag or something.
Yeah.
They went, what bag do you want? And she said, and literally this woman leaves the place, goes around the corner, goes, wait, goes around the corner, goes in a building, comes out, brings back the exact bag she wanted.
Yeah. Where was Rhys?
Rhys was probably there. He was in New York.
Point
You're
exactly.
right.
All right.
Hey, don't strike out with boring sodas and plain old water. Bat 1,000 every time with Everfresh juices and juice drinks. Available in over 40 different flavors. Everfresh, good juices for good times. So, if you know what the good things are that Rhys Hoskins is claiming the media doesn't write about, I'd love to know what they are. I absolutely am fascinated to know what they are about this Phillies team. Because I explained to Coach this morning, I'm one of the idiots that John Middleton counts on. He knows, and the Phillies ticket office knows it. They know my credit card number, and they knew my credit card number when I lived in Atlanta. I bought tickets. I was a fan. I watched I bought some merchandise from Phillies.com.
Did you buy the home run hat?
I did not.
So you're not that serious.
I'm not buying the sombrero, the stupid-ass sombrero.
Yeah.
Let's copy every other team that has something. Hey, guess what? We came up with a unique idea. Let's put a sombrero on.
Yeah, I would say the positives are the pitching, but that gets written about. So I don't I don't know what Rhys is talking about. I mean, Aaron Nola had a historic start on Friday, and it was most certainly written about. I saw the great Jason Stark writing about it. Unfortunately, it's all squandered. There's two obvious things that need to change with this team, and they're extremely obvious. One of the corner infielders can't be in the field, and the other is Hector Neris can't be a closer. So until you tell me the positives that aren't being written about Rhys, I can tell you the two obvious things that need to change, and you're a big part of one of them.
Do you want, if the DH is coming?
Sure.
Do we all agree?
Yeah.
DH will be coming after the lockout. And by the way, there will be a lockout. December 1st, tune into the show. We will be talking about the baseball lockout.
It's a good way to keep your fans.
I will bet you anything I got right now that there's going to be a lockout on December 1st.
$3.
So, $3. The bet is on. You can just owe me from the Eflin ERA bet.
Yeah, we'll just tack it on.
Double it down.
Yeah, we'll double it down if you want. But that to me, so there's going to be a change. Any thought that maybe they're saying we want Reese to stick around to be a DH
Sure.
next year?
But
You can't.
Yeah, that was my thought. Was don't trade him because of the DH.
The DH is coming.
can't you do better at DH than Reese?
You probably can. Can you do cheaper? Because he has 2 years of arbitration left. Production.
Well,
with
that's
what
a
he'll get
fair
paid.
point, Pat.
Yes,
That's
I
a
mean,
rare
see?
good point by me. I'll take the win.
I would like to. To me, the whole idea would be I saw a window into his soul the other day. And maybe you're going to think I'm too harsh with this, but 610-632-0975. I saw a window into his soul. And to me, he's not cut out for pressure cookers. He's not cut out for pressure moments.
Well,
He's not cut out for it.
Bryce is the face of it, but Reese has always been kind of the vocal leader of this team.
You mean the $300 million guy isn't? What's that about?
Not really.
No, he isn't. He isn't. Why the hell is Reese Hoskins?
I think Reese speaks for the team.
Why?
Because he's been here longer.
That's what it is?
I guess.
That really is? What about performance?
Yeah. Well, offensively.
I want to know what the good things are. I mean, because
offensively, there's not many.
oh, my God. Hey, truck drivers, join the T-Force freight team. CDL drivers in Pennsauken earn up to $22 an hour with great benefits, Pat. Apply now at upsjobs.com/Pennsauken Freight.
You hear that, Jamie?
Pennsauken Freight.
What, is he telling me to go get a new job?
No, I am.
Oh.
I just saying, there's job openings.
That's mean, Pat.
Just that Pat's looking at it.
Coach?
I'm right here.
He's got his eye on the door. Just never know what coach is doing.
You always have to have a backup plan, Coach.
You never ever know. So, all right, I got to tell you right now, though, I need some positives to come out of the buildup of the 2021 Eagles season. I'm not even talking about the season itself, but this has been, since my return.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's you, John.
It's been a kick.
Did you bring this with you?
It's been a kick to the beanbag. I mean, the Flyers can't even be eligible to compete their last 4 games they were out. I mean, they got eliminated with 4 games to go, I think, in the season. Then the Sixers debacle. And now with the Phillies just torturing me. And again, I'm the guy Middleton counts on. Mr. Middleton, I should say Mr. Middleton, sorry about that. I'm the guy Mr. Middleton counts on. I am the person who buys tickets, buys gear, watches his product on television.
Until you get the sombrero, he's not going to listen to you.
But I'm the guy that they count on. I need some positives to come out of just the buildup of the 2021 Eagles season.
Yeah, I got mildly excited just watching Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith run routes on a high school field this weekend.
You would.
Yeah, I would.
All right.
When I saw the video, my first thought was, this is something that Jamie is getting pumped about.
Because Devontae Smith is one of the things to be excited about. You know, we don't have a lot right now.
All right, here's what I'll say.
You think you're excited? Feel these nipples.
I saw the video. I thought immediately of our own Billy Mumphrey, Jamie Lynch, but I was just as excited.
Yeah, he's an exciting kid.
I was just as excited.
And we're only a month away.
And I know it's stupid.
Yeah.
Pat, I know it's stupid. And look, it's something Jamie does, so I know it's stupid.
Yeah.
Glad you're owning it.
Water's warm, Pat. Jump on in.
But I got to tell you, I felt the same way. I was entrenched.
Yeah.
Because Devontae Smith, to me, he's my summer salvation.
Yeah.
There's a new toy, and hopefully he's not going to turn out like Deshaun Jackson and, pull a muscle. Every time he has a good game, pull a muscle and miss 5. That he's going to be a guy who is reliable. He's going to be a guy who's there. And I'm excited, Pat. I'm pulling a page out of Jamie's.
Let us be happy, Pat.
I'm excited.
I haven't said, I'm just giving you a look, that's all.
Let me be happy.
Look, I'd like for you to be happy. I just can't get there with you guys.
There's not a lot of people in town right now that grab your attention and are so optimistic for. Devontae Smith is case number 1, 2, and 3.
Absolutely. Well, I got to tell you right now, it may not be in my optimism, but if there is a guy I can root for, it's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, seems very
because
likable.
I've admired him throughout his entire. I remember when he arrived at Alabama, and I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, complete fan, and so to me, there's optimism. There isn't overexcitement. There isn't, but there's optimism because I know the way the guy works. I know the way he attacks the game. I know that Nick Saban loves him.
Mm-hmm. I think he lost 2 games at Tuscaloosa, came back in his team after a tough benching.
Gets benched halfway through.
Yeah.
Imagine getting benched halfway through the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And by the way, in the second half of the Super Bowl, being the biggest cheerleader and coaching up the guy who replaces you, every time he comes off the field, you coach him up.
Yeah.
And then coming back the next year, not cutting and running. Well, he was trying to get his degree. So he goes and gets his degree at Alabama and then ends up saving. Does exactly the opposite in the SEC title game, takes over and beats Georgia.
Yeah, it's a pretty admirable career. Look, it was only 4 games his rookie year, but you saw a couple things you liked. You hope he can build on it and take that step. But, there's still a lot of questions to be had. So we'll see. It's
those 2 guys, though, that video?
I like their connection.
So do I.
I like that they're teammates and they appear to love each other. So, that doesn't hurt the situation at all.
No, it doesn't. And to me, I wonder, though, and we're going to get into it later on this week, a little bit more about Jalen Hurts, but I wonder if this optimism is... I'm looking for optimism, I should say. I want optimism. I want something to just change the tide.
Yeah.
We're back, because it's been a tide of negativity.
You brought some Atlanta stank up with you, and man.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Did it get on the plane with you?
It could have.
Yeah.
It could have. They've been wiping down the planes, though.
It's been a rough 6 months.
They really sanitized the planes, but I think I brought some of that stank along with me.
Way to go.
Maybe until the girls move up, this is going to be part of the problem.
Well, Outkast had the Stankonia album, so, maybe the stank is real down there.
That is
it's in the pollen. You carried it back in your clothes.
Okay, I'm not going to do name dropper on Outkast either. I'm going
to start counting that when he does that. I'm not going to do name drop because we all know whose name he would drop. So it's like you're doing it without doing it.
Is he an Andre 3000 guy or is he a big boy guy?
I think he's a big boy guy.
Yeah, I think big boy too. Big boy.
There you go. Okay, put it in the book.
But he didn't say it.
No, I did not say it. You cannot say it in the absolutely.
It's not your game.
But the rappers, the rap community and I are like this. We're like this.
Oh yeah, Kincaid's got street cred.
We are like this. Let's put it that way. Very, very tight. All right, coming up, we hope you're going to hang out with the John Kincaid Show all morning long. Another controversy about the flag. Are you serious? Plus, Jamie says Stephen A. had some words on Saturday that leave him, well, he'll explain. It's the John Kincaid Show here on The Fanatic. There is so much fun to be had on the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. Unless you bet the Phillies on the money line and Rhys Hoskins costs you twice in one weekend. I bet the Phillies on the money line every single game this weekend. I felt it. I felt they were going to come out strong. And you know what? That Parks Casino Sportsbook app gives me that opportunity anytime I want. Download the app today or click parkscasino.com/PA and use the promo code FANATIC. You can get a risk-free bet of up to $500. Plus, you can bet on individual player performances. If you want to watch Atlanta crash and burn like they did last night in the fourth quarter, you can jump on in the fourth quarter, and then you can bet on the Bucks while they're trailing. And you're going to come away a winner. You don't have to bet a team to win. New customers right now, sign up, get that first risk-free bet up to $500. You have to be 21 and in the state of Pennsylvania. You're going to love the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. If you got a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Round 2, it's no joke, and DraftKings Sportsbook is putting you courtside with a chance to turn $1 into $100. Pick any team that is still in the hunt for the trophy, and if that team wins, you'll receive $100 in free credits. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FANATIC when you sign up. For a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Wager paid out and site credits. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
97.5 The Fanatic.
First one of the week. John Kincaid Show on The Fanatic. We appreciate you being a part of things. We want you to join us in Vegas in October, the ultimate Birds away game trip. Go to phillysportstrips.com. Put your deposit down today when we see the Birds play the Raiders out there in Las Vegas. My gosh.
Raiders.
I cannot wait. You're not a Chris Berman detractor, are you?
No.
You're not one of those.
I am.
No.
You are?
Yeah,
Why?
I'm your favorite word.
Why? Tell me why.
I think that the references he uses have way past.
I would agree with that critique.
I think he constantly shows his age, and I think he needs to be put at the pasture.
Wow.
Just signed a new contract, too.
Yeah, the day that they were firing people, they announced that they were bringing him back.
I thought he brought an excitement to NFL football.
No, I grew up watching him on SportsCenter.
Sure.
Him and Tom Jackson were
loving
it, man.
him.
I think that was the dumbest thing they did breaking up that show.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It was a great show.
And I just think that he's lost his fastball.
I don't like him on first of all, I know him and I enjoy him, but I don't like him on the home run derby at all.
Yeah, the back.
Well, no, the worst is
I hate that.
The worst is back caught.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You're like, dude, what? Not only was it caught, it was like a dead center like fly ball. It wasn't even close to the warning track.
Okay, it's funny is that just looking at some of the stuff on our YouTube chat this morning. Anonymous says, I refuse to internalize the sports media being mad at players for calling out the media. Okay, but he's calling out the media on something that's completely false.
Yeah.
It's completely false. If you call out the media and say something that is, hey, you guys, you got this wrong, then the media should be taken to task. When the hell is Reese Hoskins trying to portray it at the media in this town doesn't celebrate when someone does it good? The media in this town loves Joel Embiid and everything about Joel Embiid and campaigns for Joel Embiid to win awards. When someone is good in this town, the media goes over the top. Carter Hart was Bernie Perrant and Ron Hextall all rolled into one before he accomplished a damn thing. I think the media in this town has gotten much more cheerleader-ish than it ever was.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe it's just because they're not cheering for you, Reese.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have glaring deficiencies in half of your game is unplayable. I mean, let's be frank. I think he's the worst defensive first baseman I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think that's a hot take. You're
It's terrible.
You're 3 games below 500 as a team, and you have the 5th highest payroll in baseball. We all know the shortcomings of the farm system in minor leagues, but that's not good enough. And if you're going to be the team leader, the vocal team leader, then you got to understand that.
And I will tell you that back in the day, and I remember going to press conferences with a microphone where I was a schlub.
Yeah, I did
just
that
getting
job.
sound. You remember that?
Sure.
You collect sound.
It's pretty awkward.
The columnists in this town, the writers in this town,
Yeah,
would have gone after Reese Hoskins for that comment.
probably.
They would have redirected and said, excuse me, Reese, what do you say we're not talking about? What are we not writing? They would have gone after him. And they would have gone after Joe Girardi with a venom.
Sure. And I don't think Reese would have had I don't think he would have had an answer for you.
No, he wouldn't have.
If they said, hey, Reese, here's my work from the past 3 days where I highlighted Aaron Nola, where I highlighted Matt Moore,
Right, what are you
where
talking
I highlighted
about?
Eflin. The main story here is that you guys blew 4 opportunities in 2 days. That's the story.
Well, I think that's why they don't do it. I mean, first of all, I think the Eagles reporters do that a lot.
Oh, no.
I mean, they'll go.
The Eagles crew is, to me, the Eagles crew is fantastic.
Yeah, they're good, but
As far as getting after you,
yeah, that's what I'm. But
impressive.
I think the Phillies, and I think a lot of the media now, it's not necessarily like they're weak or they're fanboys. They'll probably roll their eyes at that comment and remember that when you're taught in school to be a media member, you're not the story. So they probably just roll their eyes and go, yeah, all right, man. Like, whatever.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna go at him because then the story is what I'm writing about and not the game itself.
Yeah, but you're supposed to redirect.
Yeah,
There's supposed to be a redirect.
I think it's just a difference of mindset now from the media.
Right.
I think the Eagles media, for whatever reason, has a different bulldog attitude, and I think the rest of the media, when they hear crap like what Reese said, you roll your eyes and you just keep moving.
The Eagles media goes after people.
Yeah,
and I absolutely love it.
McLean.
And as somebody who has consumed the Eagles media from a distance for a quarter of a century, I loved it because I felt like they were holding people accountable. Sometimes to a degree that it was uncomfortable. I think they'd push it a little too far.
I loved it. Doug's size let you know it was uncomfortable at points. All right.
I loved them making Doug. I loved that he was uncomfortable.
Yeah, he never settled into those press conferences.
No.
I think he was a little too honest. I think he's a very honest person that had a hard time standing up there lying. Because he had to have his team's back.
That's an interesting theory.
Yeah. I don't think he enjoyed lying.
Did you see this weekend many of you may have missed the U.S. Olympic track and field trials? But on Saturday, Gwen Berry, who does the hammer throw, literally turned her back and stepped off the podium when the national anthem was on. So, of course, yesterday morning, and I'm going to apologize, I do not know. I wouldn't have known Gwen Berry's name.
No.
If you had said to me, is she whatever she is? Is she a businesswoman? Is she a TV star? Is she a rapper? Is she an actress? I wouldn't have known. But Gwen Berry literally turning her back and walking off the stage during the national anthem while the other two young ladies had their hands over their heart creates another yesterday morning round table, even on the morning news shows. I'm flipping channels on the treadmill, just trying to see. This story's on ESPN. This story was on one of the local newses. Then it was on one of the national news morning shows. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're here again. We never talked about it before, but these flag controversies get a little much to me. Because I know this. My dad was a World War II vet, POW. And I know that my father would say, because he would always say it, people fought for the right for people to have the right to do that.
Sure.
So my dad would have said, so if I ever you said, look, like to me, I didn't like what Colin Kaepernick did personally, but I defended it because I know my dad, who actually had to fight for the flag, that he would have said, no, that's what this country's about. She's got a right to do that. He's got a right to do that. But again, it just breaks. We're so divided. We are just so divided because literally they have this guest on the split screen and this guest to rip the young lady, and they have another person to defend the young lady, and I don't even know who she is.
I'm glad I missed all that.
They're dying to break. We're back at the Olympics. It makes me not want to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate when you're up there for your country that somebody feels that way, that they want to turn their back to it. You try to just, I guess, hear her point if she elaborated on it or not. I didn't even catch it because I
didn't even know who she was. I mean, I'd never heard of her before, and they were obviously, and they put her on CBS. They said that she was a famous, outspoken athlete activist. And I'm like, okay, I know sports. I have no idea who this young woman is. I've never heard her name before. Pat, did you know her?
If you would have said guess the profession, I would have said QVC host.
I didn't. I had no idea who she was. But again, does it make you? If they when the politics stuff and the activism stuff starts coming into the Olympics, that will be enough. Tune me out. I'm just not watching.
I love the Olympics.
And I love the Olympics. But I can't do it.
It won't turn me off. I just kind of ignore those types of stories anymore, and
you just tune it out.
Kinda, yeah. Because I understand why she might want to do it. I understand the other side of it.
No, but
I'm a complete fence sitter on it, so I'm just like, I'm out. It's not going to prevent me from watching the Olympics or supporting my country. If somebody wants to do it, that's their prerogative, and I'm just kind of like, all right, next.
And that's where I'm at. Pat, that's where I go is because I'm like Jay. I sit on the fence on nothing, but I sit on the fence on this one because I know that other friends of mine who are veterans all supported Kaepernick's right, her right, whatever. So I always felt that was the tack to take.
Sure. I'm not the one risking my life serving our country.
Friends of mine and family of mine who went overseas would have defended her.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say that's the tact I should take.
Yeah, I mean, the cabinet,
I didn't have the balls to do what they did.
Yeah, it's gets kind of forgotten about, but it was a Green Beret who suggested that he take the knee.
And more importantly, I can't, that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to have freedom.
Yeah, exactly. So
we're not living in a country where everybody is forced to do something.
It's I can honestly say that when a touchdown is scored or a goal is scored or a 3-pointer hit, whatever you want to call it, when a good thing happens in Philadelphia sports, I never once am I saying, okay, but did they do something during the anthem? Because at the time, in the moment, all I care about is whether they produce on the field or not. And if they have a platform they want to be outspoken about something, that's fine. The Olympics, I cheer for America, but I'd be lying if I'm saying I can't tune out because I won't be. I can't tune out because I won't be tuning in. This is just like okay.
If it turns into this, if this is what the Olympics turn into, me. Let me make my personal statements. Let me make my grandstanding moments. Let me do this. Let me hijack it. I'm done. Even though she's got a right to do that. She's got a right to it. But if this is what, I don't want that to be, because I'm going to try to watch some of it.
When does it start? In like a month?
I think it starts like in 2 weeks or something.
It's that soon?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's like third week of July, maybe.
Wow. To defend them real quick, if they want to kind of make their statement, this is probably their only chance they ever have to do it, is in that moment. So if they want to make a statement, this is it. Because after this, sadly, a lot of them are going to get forgotten about. I mean, what does she do? She does the shot put?
Hammer throw.
I didn't even know there was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing
There
either.
you go. Hammer throw.
Yeah, my buddy threw hammer in college.
Hammer throw.
My buddy was a record holder in D3 hammer in college.
What is it?
Starts July 23rd. It's
what is the hammer throw?
Oh God! Now,
so it's kind of like
explain it.
It's kind of like the little stick. It's the little stick throw.
Like the little stick.
Yeah,
so
the little stick throw.
It's a ball.
It's a ball figure on like a handle.
Okay,
it's the one where they turn and spin and then.
Okay, I do know what this is. Yeah.
Okay. See, I thought that was the discus.
No, this one's attached to like a little handle.
You spin and then you.
That's, I guess, disc toss.
Okay, so, Coach, pull this segment and make a promo. John Kincaid Show, they know sports.
Friday, July 23rd, the Olympics start.
July 23rd.
And it ends Sunday, August 8th. So it's on our doorstep, 1 month away.
I'll be able to bet on the Olympics during when I'm in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Can you bet? Did they let you bet on the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably do, yeah.
Bet Michael Phelps. Because
I will not be able to use the Parks Casino Sportsbook app.
Not in Vegas.
And I'm sure that Pat, if there's a UFC weekend, you will not have put out your picks early enough before the time I get on the plane.
I literally check your flight and then I put it out 5 minutes afterwards. Yeah,
that is one of the frustrating things. You get so used to having.
Oh, it's the worst.
Sports wagering
when you get out of state and you forgot.
And you forgot.
And you sign in and it's like the geolocation, whatever they call it.
Thank you, Parks Casino. It's obsessive. It's absolutely obsessive to be able to have that. Jamie Lynch says Stephen A., well, he convinced Jamie of something.
This is the Lynchpin.
Yeah, he convinced me that Ben Simmons and the Sixers are headed for divorce. It was my gut feeling after the season, seeing the way Joel Embiid reacted and immediately made comments to. But Stephen A's comments from Saturday over the weekend, I feel like probably got lost because people are living their lives in the weekend. So I wanted to play it for you because I want to get everybody's reactions to it because I want to see if it's different than mine. Here's Stephen A. Smith on Saturday discussing Ben Simmons and the Golden State Warriors?
Philadelphia is trying to claim that Philadelphia is not interested in moving Ben Simmons. Let me tell y'all something. That's a damn lie. It's just that they're not interested in getting trash back for him. You make a solid offer. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to consider it. I believe the Golden State Warriors are going to make a push for Ben Simmons. So keep your ears tuned. It's possible Ben Simmons could end up in Golden State. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but calls have already been made. Things are percolating, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if something like that ended up going down.
Look, you can.
Well, he brought up another thing in another soundbite that I heard him say. Clay, Steph, and Draymond. He goes that Ben Simmons could be joining Clay, Steph, and Draymond. If Ben Simmons is going to end up a Golden State Warrior, Clay, Steph, or Draymond would have to come in the deal. The Sixers would never make a deal for anything other than having one of those three involved in it.
Yeah, and the Warriors probably aren't making the deal if they have to give up one of those.
Correct.
Three.
What the hell's he talking about?
Well, the proposed.
All right, I'll take Steph.
The proposed rumor would be an Andrew Wiggins, Wiseman, and number 7 overall in the draft. But here's where I 100% believe what Stephen A. is saying. I mean, his source on this is Clutch Sports. Because if I'm Rich Paul and I'm representing my client and I want him in a situation where he can thrive and succeed and rehab his image, it's playing along Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. His scoring wouldn't be needed there. His defense and assist to 3-point rate would be, drooled over by analytic nerds. This is coming from Clutch Sports. And Stephen A. pretty much confirmed what my gut feeling was, that this is over. And I don't think it's going to continue on here in Philadelphia. Never would have thought this 5 years ago, because it's only been 5 years since we drafted him. But Stephen A.'s gut, and see if you guys agree with me or not, I think it's coming from Clutch Sports.
Well, I do. I do also, but I think he's out of his mind if he thinks they're not taking Andrew Wiggins. There's not going to be a deal.
That would be terrible.
There's not going to be a deal. Daryl Morey did not make his bones for an Andrew Wiggins deal. And by the way, I had that with somebody on Twitter this weekend. You do not know anything. It's like the proposed trades that are out there. What people are proposing. I'm like, the only people who can propose a trade is Daryl Morey and the person that he's potentially trading with. And Daryl Morey's not talking to anybody about proposed trades.
No.
Daryl Morey is not out there going, hey, by the way, let me tell you, Stephen A., this morning, here's what I proposed to Golden State.
Yeah.
That kind of crap does not happen. That's BS. That is not on the agenda. There is people who speculate, but it's people like me and Jamie and writers that speculate about what the trade could potentially be. And when I hear Andrew Wiggins, it's just stupid. They're not making that deal.
To me, this was like the biggest non-story.
I agree with Jamie.
Well, the reason I say it's a non-story is because on the surface, he basically said, okay, so, the Sixers are saying that they won't trade Ben Simmons because they don't want to get trash for him. But if they get a really good offer, then they'll consider it. Oh, thanks.
See, you heard something
Thanks
different.
for breaking that.
No. You heard something very different.
What Stephen A. said, which is the story,
is that he's gone.
Is that he's out of there. Is that people are speculating that the Sixers are not that's BS.
Yeah.
They are, and they're actively looking
and I figured
to find a dance partner.
I figured that was the case. Not necessarily the actively looking part, but the big thing that I took from the quote is they don't want to get trash back for him. And I don't think they're going to take trash back for him.
Well, who does? I mean,
but he doesn't have. Like, my point is, like, they hold the cards because he's under contract. They don't have to trade him. So if all they're getting is trash offers, then they don't have to take that.
Yeah, we've never seen an NBA star hijack his team and demand to be forced somewhere.
I mean, that's the whole reason why,
Sports.
Jamie, last week I said the big story is if he demands a trade. What show are you listening to?
Here's the problem is, though, with a demand of a trade with 4 years left, kiss my backside.
Well, the problem
you're not demanding anything of me
But the problem is he can demand that, but if Joel Embiid doesn't want him here, then you're getting hit from both angles and you've lost all hand.
Well, that's why I believe Joel Embiid is completely silent.
Yeah, he's down in Margate on a little family vacay.
And I believe they've told him, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
we're working on it.
Yeah.
We don't need you. We need you to damage the brand here.
Well, Clutch Sports is out doing their PR spin to all this,
Sure.
and it tells me he's gone.
That's the way I feel it, too.
In Golden State, there couldn't be a better landing spot for somebody like Ben Simmons.
Everything you said makes sense. I just still don't think he's gone, though.
I don't think he's going to Golden State. I think he's going somewhere.
I don't think they get close to the value they want.
I think they're rolling this back, eh?
I think there's going to be a lot more interest
because
around
then
the
they're
league.
rolling it back.
Yeah, I think that they roll it back because they're not getting the offers that they want, and then they're going to do kind of like what Minnesota did with Jimmy Butler. They'll start the season off with him, try to rehab his appeal, and then maybe look to deal him. But I would be mildly surprised if I'm not saying it's out of the question, but I'd be mildly surprised if they move him.
How do you feel if they roll that team back? I'm completely uninspired. Completely uninspired. Because the team DNA does not work.
Depends what they get in free agency.
Yeah, I would.
What are you going to get?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you need like a veteran leader. They don't have one.
You know what's incredible? That's the first thing you said. They have 3 max players.
Yeah.
That are all vets.
And Pat's saying, and they're all veterans.
Yeah.
And Pat's saying, you know what they need is a veteran leader.
Yeah, that says a lot.
That's horrifying.
Yeah,
that's horrifying. That means the DNA of your roster is wrong. It's just wrong.
Yeah, I mean they don't have that guy in the room to keep the accountability there.
It doesn't work. Now there's going to be speculation that is going to begin, and the speculation is probably 100% out of left field and makes no sense. But people are going to do it anyway.
He's going to make a trade that's going to shock everybody, and it's going to be one
could shock him.
That probably wasn't talked about.
To the Pelicans for Zion.
But Pat also said he knew when he was officially out on this guy. Who's that guy? We'll stick around. Second hour of the John Kincaid Show comes your way next here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Well, I am not out on the BetMGM Sports app. Oh, I was using it quite a bit this weekend. Not to brag, the UFC picks have been rolling, so that means, don't take my picks for the next 3 weeks. But if you want a great offer from BetMGM, here's one. How about a risk-free bet up to $600 on your very first wager? That's right. So let's say you really think that the Islanders can, or not the Islanders, the Canadians. Because,
the Islanders thing would kill you. That'd be stupid.
You're going to lose the Islanders bet, John, but the Canadians. Let's say you think the Canadians can beat the Lightning, or you think that the Bucks can beat the Hawks, or whatever, and you want to put $600 on it. Well, you can do that, and if you lose, BetMGM is going to give you $600 back in free bets on your very first wager. There is a catch, though. You have to use the bonus code PATEGAN on that risk. So you sign up on BetMGM.com or the BetMGM app, type in Pat Egan, and then your very first wager is risk-free up to $600. They also have their boosted odds specials, their daily promotions, live in-game betting options, and, of course, their parlay selection features. They have it all at BetMGM. So hop on the BetMGM app or go to BetMGM.com. Register using code PATEGAN, and then you'll get back up to $600 on your very first wager. It is a new customer offer. It's paid in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You have to be 21 years or older, Pennsylvania only. If you or somebody who knows a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. BetMGM Sports in partnership with Hollywood Casino Morgantown.
97.5 The Fanatic. The Fanatic.
7 o'clock hour, the John Kincaid Show, brought to you by my sportsbook app of choice, the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. Download at parkscasino.com/PA and use the promo code FANATIC. Breakfast Club hold up for you, Pat?
I actually just turned to Coach and said, Breakfast Club.
But
absolutely it does. Yeah,
Jamie, you love it?
Yeah, it still kind of reminds me of high school and stuff.
It's one of Olivia's favorite movies.
Yeah.
She's 17 and she loves it.
Jamie's a Brian.
Which one's Brian?
He's the nerd. It's Michael C. Hall.
Oh, well.
Yeah. You strike me as a guy who got a fake ID to vote.
Not at all.
You met Addie at the big waterfall, Niagara Falls. You met Addie at Niagara Falls.
Can I?
It's John Hughes, right?
Yes.
His movies are pretty timeless.
Yes.
Like, he did a really good job.
Well, Ferris Bueller, right?
Sure.
16 Candles.
16 Candles, which is a great
Home Alone.
Home Alone's great. Yeah, he had a good run.
He had a good time.
But then they did the other Home Alones.
Home Alone 2 was solid.
Oh, gosh, terrible.
I lost it after that, but Home Alone 2 holds
Don't
up.
like it, didn't like it.
The Bird Lady?
Didn't like it.
At what point does child services step in?
Exactly.
Wow, fair point.
I want to know that I like a grudge.
I love a grudge.
I love a grudge. I can execute a grudge as well as anybody.
We've noticed.
But I can tell you that you're on the list. Don't get on the list. But I will say that I feel petty about I was loving Milwaukee crushing the Hawks' dreams last night.
As was I.
I was enjoying that blatantly.
As was I.
Boy, and I can tell you, there's bad traffic in Atlanta, but boy, did they clear that place out. Boy, it went from being fever pitch to being empty. And I enjoyed it. Because it just gives that Johnny-come-lately... The Johnny-come-lately fan is not sticking around.
No, not at all.
The fan who just went to Walmart in Dunwoody and suburban Atlanta and gotten their T-shirt, and now they're really into the Hawks. And I can tell you, they weren't in December and January, but now they are.
Okay, so
They're
basically...
they're the ones who leave early.
A.K.A. all of Jamie's new friends.
They're the ones that... They're the ones who leave early.
The people that get the ESPN notifications on their phone.
That place cleared out.
That's awesome. I love it. Because sports justice says that Milwaukee deserves this. And they're the better team.
Well, they are the better team, but
we had such heartbreak.
Sixers were the better team, too.
Yeah.
And that's where it seems like...
I just don't want a fake fan base, as I've been told by many people that they are with the Hawks down there, to have the joy that Milwaukee or Philly should.
Wait a minute, it's exactly what the Sixers fan base did.
No,
the Sixers were in the bottom of the league in attendance.
Well,
and then everybody piled on as soon as they won 51 games. So it's the same exact thing.
No, but
yes, it is. It's the same thing.
The Sixers go back decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, but fans weren't supporting them.
Hey, some of us were.
Some of us don't get on. You can't get on them for that.
They're not fake fans. They have a history of fandom that the Hawks don't really have.
That is. I will give you that.
Yeah, I mean, nobody in their right mind would pay money to support the process.
I actually did. I was a season ticket holder.
Why did you do that? By the way,
they were so cheap. The tickets were so cheap that you would be able to sell. You'd be able to, I was selling the Lakers game. The Lakers would go for a lot. The Heat at the time, that LeBron was. Those games would go for a lot. It would literally pay for your season. And then you could go to any
games
games
you wanted. Grandfathered into.
Exactly. I got grandfathered into
right.
It was a smart business move.
I just don't want to be petty because that's like a little bitch. Because the Hawks are better than us. They were better than us.
Yeah, they were.
Better than us.
Well, we sold our pants.
I'm kind of starting to hate Milwaukee. I feel like they get a lot. Yeah, they're a sneaky good sports city. In terms of, you think about it, the Bucks. The Bucks are good, right? Yeah. And they're about to go to the finals with a very realistic chance of winning it. The Brewers came out of nowhere. They stole Christian Yelich from Miami, and they're in first place.
Philly should have been in on that.
And then Green Bay and all of their damn Super Bowls. Yeah, okay, Aaron Rodgers wants out all of a sudden. We all know he'll probably be back. So, I feel like they're a possible hatred city right there because they're doing well.
They play in like a little. Imagine if the Eagles played in Havertown. If the stadium was in Havertown. Because if you've been to Green Bay, if anyone's been to Green Bay, I
have.
It would remind you of Havertown.
It's bizarre.
Business would be booming at the Kettle.
Imagine the Manoa Shopping Center.
Mm-hmm. They have a back parking lot now.
Which I'm really excited to hear about because I've learned that after all those years. Imagine that the Manoa Shopping Center is Lambeau Field.
That'd be cool.
Because it's sort of like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're driving in a neighborhood, all of a sudden you make a right turn, and you're like, oh,
and there it's
Lambeau.
And don't even get me started on the Milwaukee Admirals.
Oh, my gosh. Let the Dame Lillard speculation begin.
Hell yeah.
But can we have it with a little bit of intelligence? It's going to be the most talked about thing in the NBA this offseason. It'll be obsessed upon in this town. A true star in the market. The 76ers have a damaged goods star defensive player of their own, which makes the dollars of a potential deal easier to manage in a trade. Problem is, convince me of this. Why does Portland want to take on Ben Simmons? And if you ask yourself that, the endless hours of conversation about Dame Lillard to the Sixers will seem much more stupid. It's something Philadelphia fans are going to talk themselves into. Even when it's us who potentially drove the price down of Ben Simmons. We drive it down every day. All that complaining gets noticed everywhere. So if Ben Simmons isn't good enough to potentially deliver it, it's partially our fault. We have driven down the price of Ben Simmons. But why in the world would the Portland Trailblazers want Ben Simmons? If they're looking for a deal for Dame Lillard, why would, what kind of voodoo, psychology, mystical magic could Daryl Morey pull off, Jamie, to make them think, oh yeah, a centerpiece, because you have to be the centerpiece of the deal. The centerpiece of a deal, we're giving up Dame Lillard. Centerpiece will be Ben Simmons. Why would they want that? It makes no sense. 0 sense.
Well, it all depends what else they're offered for him. Because a lot of these, players around the league, like Boston's a team to me that would make a lot of sense to jump in.
And they have multiple options that are better than offering Ben Simmons. They could offer
Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Whether I think that's a fair debate. Like,
much better.
I don't know if it's
Portland
much better.
Is saying, if Portland is being told, you can get Jaylen Brown back as a centerpiece of a deal, or you can get Ben Simmons back. It's not even close.
I mean,
Ben Simmons as a centerpiece of a deal? He's the most ridiculed player in the NBA right now.
Well, it's not going to be just Ben Simmons. It would most likely be a Ben Simmons and a Tyrese Maxey type.
Okay, if Tyrese Maxey has value here. He doesn't have cachet across the NBA.
No, but he's a 19-year-old kid that you go, oh, well, he wasn't scared of the moment in the playoffs.
Correct,
but he's something you can sell there. If I'm Portland, I mean, Ben Simmons, I don't want to say he's marketable to a fan base. They're a smaller market city. When you're dealing the likes of a Dame Lillard, it's rare to unheard of that they're going to win said trade. They're going to take it on the chin because they're losing what I believe is a top 10 player in the league. So,
why would you then believe that the Sixers are going to win a trade with Ben Simmons?
I don't.
Because you're winning. If you get Dame Lillard, you'd be winning. I don't see how the hell Daryl Morey could convince Portland to want to take on Ben Simmons. He's the most ridiculed player in the NBA.
And right now he is, but you could do worse than Ben Simmons. I mean, normally when you look at...
do a lot better.
Well, but what?
Pat, any team right now says you can have Ben Simmons. What player would be willing to give up?
If it's known that Dame wants out...
Correct. He has no say on where he goes.
Yeah, but if it's no, I mean, this is the big thing. It's like it's a superstar-driven league. When the superstar says they want out, all of a sudden the leverage that a team has goes out the wayside. Getting a 24-year-old, probably should have been Defensive Player of the Year, who's a little bit. I think Ben Simmons just needs to change the scenery and he'll be all right. I don't think he's ever going to shoot the ball, but he'll be back. I think you can do a lot worse.
But you do realize, Pat, when you say, well, who? Any team that has young talent could go, we want Dame Lillard.
But go back and look at what teams get when superstars demand trades. They do superstars. I mean, the James Harden trade's a joke. That trade's awful.
I think it was awful.
Well, you have to look at the
Carmelo Anthony's trade was a joke.
And what they're like, if you're going to get Dame Lillard, you think you have a chance at winning it all with that move, obviously. So what can you give up that isn't going to disrupt the core of your team? There might not be as many sexy name suitors. Like Jaylen Brown and Ben Simmons are probably going to be the top of the list of name recognition. So I think Portland's, like a Denver's not going to blow up. Maybe they go give up Jamal Murray and, something else. But like a lot of these teams don't have a ton that are close to winning to give up that doesn't disrupt their entire nucleus.
The one thing I would say is that I hear people going, boy, Ben Simmons is terrible. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. So you're going to get one of the 5 to 8 most marketable players in the NBA?
Well, you're giving up more than Ben Simmons.
You're talking about Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey
and future first,
but
probably.
Tyrese Maxey, every team has future first.
Sure.
And Tyrese Maxey, and by the way, other teams have future first who might end up being a lot more attractive than where the Sixers will be drafting.
Well, sure, but are you getting a 20 and 24-year-old serviceable player to go with it? I think it's a fair offer.
Yeah, you're probably like I look at the Sixers' possible offer to Portland like New Orleans got when they traded Anthony Davis to LA. Like they got Josh Hart and they got Brandon Ingram, who is a young, not proven yet. They got Lonzo Ball. I mean, they got a lot of young pieces, and then they got picks too. The picks everybody knew was going to be garbage, but because of money having to match up, I don't see a lot of teams ready to throw away their top prospects or their young assets.
Yeah, that's
that they
what
want to build around.
That's what it boils down to, is what kind of offers are they going to be getting, and everybody is going to come up with their best possible offer.
Right now, will Dame Lillard be a Sixer?
No,
probably not.
No,
but I think they're going to try.
I think Dame's.
Of course, they're going to try.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, if I'm Portland, I'm going. Ben Simmons? Yeah, no thanks. Thank you.
Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, and 2 future firsts.
I don't think they trade Dame.
You don't think they trade him?
I don't think they trade him.
I don't think they're going to trade him either. I think that will end up being but as I said to you last week, he wanted Becky Hammond.
Yeah.
He was letting it known to people that he wanted Becky Hammond.
Yeah, and he had some cryptic tweets last night that had everybody all lathered up. I don't know what the hell he's saying, but
I think Chauncey will convince him.
Pat, you said that you realized you were out on a guy this weekend.
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. You're
done.
Finished. Who are you out on?
John Kincaid.
I hear you. Understand what
you're
saying.
out already?
John Kincaid. Look, we gave it a good run. And it was a good couple months
We
there.
did. I'm going to miss you.
But I'm done.
I'm going to miss you.
No, Joe Girardi. Look, I gave the guy a good shot, okay? It's been about a year. I don't like being this person. But you let Zach Eflin bat. You let him warm up. And then after warming up, you decide, well, he's at like 85 pitches. And even though he's out dueling Jacob deGrom, I think he's done. Let's bring in Ranger Suarez. What the hell are you doing? I'm done. It's becoming clear to me that this guy wasn't out of the game of baseball because he wanted to be. It was because nobody wanted to hire him. The Phillies were his only actual managerial offer. He took it, and he's proving that the game is either passed him by or he got lucky in New York or whatever. But he doesn't have a friggin' clue.
Now, we talked about that, though, is that I believe he could have ended up the Mets manager. That if the Phillies hadn't jumped, he could have ended up.
I know they kicked the tires on an interview with him, and he might have full-blown interviewed there. I don't know if he got an offer there. But, I would think he would have gotten another shot.
There was a drag, though.
But it was
he wanted the St. Louis
slow.
job, I believe.
Yeah.
He wanted some other places.
Yeah, look, that's like the third time this year, at least, where he's allowed the pitcher to bat and then quick hooked him the next inning.
Like, what is that?
And I don't understand it. The game I went to 2 weeks ago, he missed an obvious double switch with JT Realmuto and an off day the next day. His in-game management and roster moves, I don't really understand. And I'd love to hear him explain it more. But, that's a manager's decision.
I'd
He's
like
not
to buy the
explanation.
explanation. I mean, there is no explanation for that. And I'll give them credit in the fact that they would not, the Phillies broadcasters all called it out.
Yeah.
Said there was no reason to take Zach Eflin out of that game.
None. It made no sense, especially to let him hit. And then
the
to
day
pull him.
he outduels Jacob deGrom,
that's a notch in
you're
his
yanking
belt.
him
At 85 pitches.
83, wasn't it? Or was
Whatever it
85?
was, I might be rounding
but
up.
I mean, it's like, come on.
It's boneheaded move after boneheaded move after boneheaded move with this guy. I realize I might be too reactionary because it's only been a year, but he's shown me nothing where I go, man, that's a really good decision by Joe Girardi. In fact, it's actually been the opposite.
Here's the Joe Girardi video press conference. So for you on YouTube, you get the treat. I don't know. He's laying back in his chair. He's totally uninspired.
Yeah, he seems very uninspired.
And maybe the team is dragging it out of him.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe the fact that his third baseman can't field, his first baseman can't field.
It's probably frustrating, but his shifts haven't worked. A lot of his decisions haven't worked. The way he's handled a rotation, I think, has been terrible. And this is, keep in mind, this reaction by me is coming a week after he did a panic move of, which he said he wasn't going to do.
No.
Of checking Max Scherzer for the third time, as if after 2 times Max Scherzer was going to go get spider tack. And this is also, I think, a day after he said, well, Hector Neris isn't the closer anymore, and then he brought him in to close.
Did you see Garrett Cole yesterday?
Yeah, he got hammered. It was great. Did you see his ERA this month?
Did you see the spin?
His spin rate was the lowest in like 6 years, like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so I did a little...
Garrett Cole, the wheels are falling off Garrett Cole, and baseball has clamped down on illegal substances.
Well, I did a little research on this because I need to prove why they pay me the big bucks.
Okay.
Amazon is.
If Joe Bell could explain that to me in a memo, I would appreciate it.
He's right outside, and I'm sure he'll do that.
Yeah, he brought us donuts.
Yeah, he brought us donuts.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. Boy,
box of
that's
donuts
a
waiting for
responsive
us.
management.
Amazon is out of spider tack right now. They are sold out.
You know, I logged on to Amazon this morning, and it was like things recently searched for, and it was 5 things of spider tack.
Hey,
everyone's looking at what the hell's spider tack?
Wendy's only serves one-of-a-kind breakfast. It's a better one. And right now, the sausage, egg, and cheese and Swiss croissant. It's awesome. Bacon, egg, and cheese Swiss croissant. And honey butter chicken biscuit are all 2 for $4.
That honey biscuit.
Oh, my gosh. It is great. Now, I am a fan of the sausage, egg, and Swiss.
Yes, they're
croissant.
all good. I had the bacon, egg, and cheese burger last week that was phenomenal.
That's a good item.
You do like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be into
of all
it.
the items.
Yeah, that'll put hair in your chest.
Items, that would be the lower one for me.
If you're lumberjacking for a day, that's a good base.
You always think that out and pass it around.
But I'm not. Yeah, I always when
You
I
gotta
find
try
the bag.
it.
No, I'm not. It's something about a burger at 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning.
It's all the same.
I know it is. It's just out of place.
Yeah.
But it's my whole order thing, which is just stupid.
Are you a man?
Yeah, I do. I do enjoy it.
I question your manhood on this.
Eating burgers. Do you eat a burger for breakfast anywhere else? When there's so many great options at Wendy's, you look at that menu. There's so many great breakfast options.
Well, Coach had 2 hot dogs this morning for breakfast.
Coach and his wieners.
Probably a lot of wieners were had this weekend, Coach. It was hot, good grilling weather, right?
Man.
How was it down the beach, Coach?
Love the big wiener.
How was it down there? Did you have a good time at the beach?
Had a great time at the beach this weekend, yes.
Did you run into Andrew Salchunas?
Or Joel Embiid, who was in Margate?
No, missed them both.
Who'd you go with, Coach?
I had a gentleman say to me yesterday that why is Joel Embiid in Margate?
Because he's one of us. One of us.
I'm like, he
one
wants to
of
go.
us.
Now, this guy said to me, he's trying too hard.
Nah.
Trying too hard to go on vacation?
The guy drew the parallel to me that it's like Bryce Harper and the Fanatics.
No. He's an hour. He can drive there in an hour and be there.
It's he could be any beach in the world.
Sure, maybe he didn't want to get on a plane. He's got a knee surgery
That's
coming
what I
up.
was thinking.
Yeah, it's a quick, easy jaunt.
Okay, that was my recommendation was he's probably waiting for a couple weeks. He probably has the knee surgery.
Probably has to let swelling go down.
Let it go down. Let some rest. He's probably been stick around.
He doesn't want to get on a flight.
And then when he has the surgery, he'll get out of Dodge.
He lives in Center City. It's an hour door to door. It's easy.
But this guy was trying to say that it's like he's letting everybody see him out there. I said, he's not taking selfies in Margate.
No, he's out walking his child in the little car pushy thing.
He also doesn't have the new Sixers hoodie on with the new Sixers hat and the new Sixers shorts.
Everybody knows Joel Embiid, though. Do they not?
Yeah. He's pretty. You don't usually see a lot of 7-foot people.
That's the difference. Bryce Harper rolls into a place you could think you were at a hipster bar,
yeah, or a brewery tour
with really heavy IPAs.
Yeah, the double.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, you're right, but
I mean, Bryce Harper could roll in with a baseball cap or a hoodie on and everything, and somebody would not know who he is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to see Joel Embiid walks in. Everybody's going to know JoJo. They're going to know him. He's not trying too hard. I guarantee he's sticking around for the surgery.
Yeah, I would think so.
By the way, when is that?
I would hope it's coming up. News should be coming up soon. I would imagine a consult meeting happened, maybe some swelling allowance, a time to let it die down, and then probably surgery pretty soon because the offseason's only 3 months.
When is Bryce Harper's surgery? Didn't he have surgery? Didn't he have to sit out yesterday?
Oh, God. That's another problem I have with Girardi. I didn't even bring that up. The babying of this roster of, guy got a splinter, so, he could play, but we're going to hold him out.
No, look, it is one of the hardest throwers in the game. And the ball did bounce, right? I mean, it bounced and hit him. I mean, it went down there and it's sort of, it's not like he got beamed, but I mean, I expected him to be out there yesterday.
I put a lot of that on Girardi.
See, I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing. I know it's not fair, but I dislike Girardi more than I dislike Bryce Harper, so I'm going to side with Bryce on this one.
Again,
like Girardi.
13 of 18 games for Rhys Hoskins. Right about the positive stuff, too. By the way, if you have any of the positive stuff that's not being written about for the Phillies, please, I'd love to hear from you at 610-632-0975.
This is where we need Ricky Bo to give us the spin job of
Exactly.
Nappy's at bat in the fourth. Thought was really great.
Hey, well, Pat says he's still not over it. We'll tell you what that is. More coming up. Stick around, won't you? It's the John Kincaid Show here on The Fanatic. The Parks Casino Sportsbook app allows you to be fully immersed. Whether it's pro hoops, whether it's hockey, whether you are lamenting through every single pitch of every Phillies game. Live in-game play-by-play betting changes your sports life. You can use your expertise to be able to figure out what's going to happen in the game. Betting against the Phillies bullpen, you can put your kids through college, is all I'm going to tell you. And right now, new customers sign up. You're going to get your first risk-free bet up to $500. You can download the app, or you can click parkscasino.com/PA and use the promo code FANATIC. You're going to get yourself a great deal. And you do not have to bet on a team to win. That's the best part about it. Individual player performances are so easy for you to be able to wager on. Now, I'm going to warn you, you got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania. Make sure you get your wagers in before you leave the state. And if you got a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
97.5 The Fanatic. .5 The Fanatic.
Welcome aboard.
World famous Eagles fan, Biz Marquis.
Really?
Yeah, he's a huge Birds fan.
I did not know that.
I've seen him at
you learn
games.
something every day.
I think he's from Delaware.
From Delaware. I think he is from Delaware.
I mean, I've
seen him at Sixers games. I've seen him at Eagles games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is from Egg Harbor Township.
Wow,
he was
from
born.
Syracuse.
Wasn't he?
He was born there, so I don't know where he grew
Oh,
up.
well, that's
He had
that's
kicks.
all
He
different.
had kick season tickets back in the day.
Were you born? What would be the town that takes credit for you, Jamie?
I was born in Abington. At
So Abington
Memorial.
Memorial.
Yeah.
Pat, who takes credit for you?
Nobody. I don't think anyone's putting me on a sign.
Where you born?
I was born in Rolling Hill Hospital, which is now Elkins Park Hospital.
I've never heard of that.
But I always say I'm from Philadelphia because it's a stone's throw away. It's kind of like Eagleville and Eagle View.
I was born in Bryn Mawr Hospital.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, it's the Bryn Mawr Hospital.
Oh, excuse me.
Honor it, which is Bryn Mawr.
That's still in existence, right? I always get that in Lankenau.
Bryn Mawr Hospital? Sure.
That's not Lankenau.
No,
though, right?
Lankenau's the one right next to the
That's right
seminary
here.
on
Yeah.
City Line.
That's where my
Lankenau is
niece
a good
was
hospital.
born.
It's a good hospital?
That's a top-notch hospital right there.
Bryn Mawr, I think, is the...
See what happens when the Sixers lose in the second round? We break down
By the
hospitals.
way, no, I heard the dumbest debate ever.
Oh.
Yes.
Dumber than the ones that we've had on the air?
Yes.
We've had some bad ones.
Okay. I guess there's a new Spider-Man coming out or something?
Yeah.
There always is.
That Tom Holland isn't a man.
So what?
He's a boy.
He's boyish.
Why
but
is
he's
he
a man.
Spider-Man? He's not a man. He's
Peter
a boy.
Parker was always
This
a
was
boy.
the debate that I heard.
You're right. This is the dumbest debate.
Yes, and it got heated.
Who was doing this?
These are two people right outside the head shop. They were arguing Spider-Man.
Oh, well, Edibles
And
explains that
they were
conversation.
arguing it as I went up. They were arguing when I went up the block. I went over to Wawa, came back, and they were still arguing Spider-Man. And I said, "Are you guys still arguing Spider-Man?"
You don't get it, man.
He goes, "Dude." And the guy goes, "Dude." I'm like, okay, so now this is like I'm having a discussion with a 16-year-old. And he goes, "Dude, you got to understand, Spider-Man's a man, right?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Spider-Man, Tom Holland is like a kid. So he would be Spider-Boy."
Oh, my God.
And I was like, oh, my gosh.
This is the dumbest
debate.
debate.
I said, were you down the street before you came to have this argument?
Yeah.
And they argued it. So whatever it took me to get from there to get to the Wawa and back, they were still having.
I respect a dumb argument.
Yeah, but it was not heated, but it was loud.
It was contentious.
Well, Peter Parker was a high school kid when he got bit.
He was a high school kid.
Spider-Man was a high school kid in the cartoon.
So real quick, we all agree.
But Tom Holland is what, 23?
He's 25, I think.
Yeah.
So we all agree this is a dumb argument. So now we're going to discuss it in detail.
No, I like breaking down arguments. There you go.
We'll break it down.
Just stay away from the, it's whatever they're selling in there. It's a problem. Hey, Martin Law is the law firm for injured workers. Visit paworkinjury.com. All right, Bryce Harper. He's missed 27% of the games this year already due to injuries. By the way, 5 of them. 5 injuries already in 2021, keeping him out of games.
Well, he got the 2-for-1er, right, with the face and the wrist.
Yes, face. I'm going to excuse him on the face.
I would hope so.
I would think you get.
I would hope so.
You have to have a little bit of a
97-mile-an-hour fastball to the face.
But he's missed 27% of the Phillies' games. Good news, though. Only 10 more years left on that contract.
Well,
it just shows you about the first base, why first base has to be fixed. He's constantly getting hurt now.
Yeah,
I'm not going to the face. I'm just going to go back. It's a series of maladies that keep.
Well, he's got a back issue that's been with him for a couple years now. It's certainly not going to get better over time. The shoulder, I believe,
that's not getting better without surgery. Right?
Yeah, that's probably going to need an off-season surgery. I mean, this is the outlier for his career, more or less. He's always been, the steady horse that plays every game or most games for you.
Well, that tends to happen for guys, and then they get to a certain age, and it starts to break down.
Yeah, sure. And he's now
28,
just under 10 years in the pros. So,
he usually doesn't break down 28, though, right?
Well,
like 30,
most guys aren't up at 18 or 19, playing full time.
And you're bringing me to my point.
Yeah, which is the concern, but I think we all know he's eventually going to be the DH here.
Do you know how running backs have a certain amount of carries in them?
Sure. Yeah, like Ezekiel Elliott ran into the ground.
Well, if you get 300 touches the next year, what is it? Is it 400? I think it's if you get 400 touches or 300 touches.
Let's just cut in the middle on 350. We'll say 350.
It kills you the next year.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray's.
Yeah.
That's why I hated that move back in the day.
It'll crush you. When a guy's been driven into the ground like that, it's going to crush you. And so that's all I'm saying is that Bryce Harper may have the wear in the tires. He's not 28.
No, he's nearing 5,200 career plate appearances.
That's a lot.
Yeah, he's been in the major leagues for a long time. I'm
just saying.
Yeah, this is his 10th year.
This is something that they, was in the equation when they signed him. They
for
knew
10 more years after this year.
Well, I do think that the DH was a big part of the 12 years.
Then that means that you got to get rid of Reese.
I think you do.
Right? You have to be getting rid of Reese. Because if you can't see Bryce Harper has DH written Bryce Harper has 10 years left on his deal.
And he has such a violent swing, too, that it's...
And by the way, JT has 4 years left on his deal. 4 more years after this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, these contracts don't seem... Oh, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the contracts at all.
You're not?
Not at all. Look, Bryce Harper so far has been exactly as advertised.
Whoa. Is he an all-star?
I don't care about all-stars.
BS.
BS what? Jimmy Rollins wasn't an all-star the year he won MVP. I don't give a rat's ass about all-stars.
An all-star is what you expected out of Bryce Harper every single year of his prime.
I don't care about all-stars mean nothing.
I don't care whether you care about it, Pat. You absolutely expected that Bryce Harper was going to be a perennial all-star when the Phillies signed him.
Well, what does an all-star mean?
Pat, don't get hung up again. You absolutely thought he was going to be an all-star.
He's been exactly as
whether
he was in
Or
Washington.
not. No, he's not.
No, but you're saying I expected him to be an all-star, but then you're saying whether I expected it or not. You can't have it both ways.
No, when he came to the Phillies, nobody expected him to be missing all-star games in his prime. Come on.
But my point is, it doesn't matter.
City Hall parades when he was signed.
He's been the same player he has been here as he is Washington.
You're telling me this isn't in any way a disappointment at all?
No. How can it be? He's been the same player.
I think he's been disappointing this year, but I think it's because of what we were just talking about, the injuries. I think he's met, not exceeded expectations when coming here.
I don't believe he's met.
All right, look.
I mean, his career high in RBIs.
Do I think he's a disappointment? No. Do I think he's met expectations of what people said when he was signed here,
I mean,
absolutely BS. That's complete nonsense.
His first full season had 35 dingers and 114 RBIs.
It was must-see TV.
260 average, 372 on base. That's about all I can ask for.
His career must-see TV the first year.
Yeah, last year was
not last year,
the
not this year.
weird shortened year. And this year he has 11 home runs and they're all solo shots. It hasn't been great, but he's been very banged up this year.
His OPS in Washington was 900. His OPS in Philly throughout his career is 897.
Is he what Phillies fans expected when he was signed?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's met. I don't think he's exceeded.
I do not believe he's met, and I know he hasn't.
And I did think, as somebody that was entering their prime of their career, I thought there was a good chance he was going to exceed.
Correct. He was supposed to be ascending, not being flat.
They signed a really good player. They got a really good player. Like, looking at the numbers, he has almost 1,000 at-bats with the Phillies, and he's got 60 home runs. And if you do the math and add it up to what he had at Washington, it's about the same. Like, he's been the same player here as he hasn't been in Washington. You might have expected 45 home runs or whatever, but...
No, I certainly expected...
So what did you expect?
How about an MVP candidate?
Well, you always bring up the outlier season.
How about an MVP candidate? Is that... You're telling me the day he was signed here, that wasn't what people were expecting?
I thought he could be.
No,
but I'm not disappointed.
That was what people were expecting when he was signed here.
I thought he was going to be in the running for MVP at least a couple times.
At least 3 or 4, maybe until he's like 32. You thought year after year he's going to be in that mix.
Yeah.
He's not there.
No, he's not. I mean,
is he a top 10 player in baseball?
No.
Top 10?
People were certainly expecting that. No, he's not top 10.
Well, that's the problem. They were expecting maybe something that wasn't obtainable.
Wow.
I mean, he had one MVP. You always talk about Aaron Nola, the outlier season. Well,
yeah, but his other seasons are
really good. But my point is, okay, take the MVP season out. Like, he's still a really good player, and he has been a really good player with the Phillies.
How did you bring Aaron Nola into a discussion?
Because of the outlier season. I mean, the outlier season with Bryce Harper is the MVP season because he went off. He was unbelievable.
Bryce Harper's other seasons are pretty damn good.
Are. Yeah,
which isn't Aaron Nola.
Oh, we're not comparing.
So please, you brought him up.
Because you always talk about the outliers. How do you not hear this? How do you not hear this argument?
Because there is no comparison. When your other seasons are really, really good and your outlier season's MVP, you can't talk about 1 year when you were 4th in ERA and the other years you're all in the 20s.
1 year he won MVP, the other years he didn't. It's an outlier season.
No, that's not an outlier
season. Okay, then we agree to disagree. I still love you.
One guy's going to be the MVP. A week later, Pat, you don't sound like you're over it.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not over it. I'm not.
Come on, now you got to close the book on this.
Yeah, I probably do, but I watch the series going on and it just pisses me off.
You're watching the Bucks and the Hawks.
I'm watching the Bucks, Hawks. Yeah, I should have described it.
Were you petty like me, or were you rooting against the Hawks? Are you petty? Like, does it?
I go back and forth.
I don't want to see them win.
I go back and forth. I always subscribe to I want to lose to the eventual champions, but it annoys me that I really think that they just flat out let that team off the hook. And I'm still having trouble processing exactly how it happened. Because it doesn't make sense to me how they blew this series. I don't understand. This series to me feels like in 2011 when the Phillies lost to the Cardinals, or the year before when they lost to the Giants. Like, I can't fathom how this team, at the very least, didn't get to the third round of the playoffs. I'm honestly, I'm having trouble getting over that. I need to get over it. I know that, but looking at the talent level and all that, like, how the hell did we get to this point where we're sitting here talking about Spider-Man and small wrenches and whatnot, Spider-Man, and not talking about game 2, 3, 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals?
Mike and Delran joins us. Mike, good morning. How are you? Welcome to the Fanatic.
Spider-Man's way cooler than the Sixers. Listen, I kind of agree. I'm not the biggest baseball guy, so take it for what it is. But I'll remember the weeks and the months of the Harper watch.
Oh yes,
and there was a second coming of Jesus, and then $300 million, stupid money. He may be just like he was in Washington, but I expected MVP caliber player, and I haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
Go Birds!
Thank you, go Birds, Mike. See you. Absolutely. It's just go back if you just want to, if you're going to debate the fact, go back and read the day he was signed.
Oh, I
go read the newspapers
screaming at the Phillies
and go
to sign
read
him.
what it was supposed to do, what it was projected to be, what the fan base was saying it was going to be. The elation. There was and good elation.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
I wanted Manny Machado. I was
good with either.
Machado was the one I wanted because I just felt, first of all, I didn't think there was going to be the
wear on the tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something to be concerned about, but I think they made this signing full well expecting the DH10 or the NL. I thought he was going to get to that MVP-ish level. He's not, but that doesn't mean he's still not a very good player. So for what it is and the annual average per season, I think you're getting your money's worth. I do. I don't think he's exceeding the expectation.
What did you say? I wish I could hear.
Oh, I was screaming at the Phillies.
That day
you
when
cowards signed him.
When they signed him.
Oh, I think me and Jamie were doing happy dances.
Yeah.
But that's like my expectations, whatever they were.
You think they were unfair?
They were probably ridiculously unfair. That's on me. That's not on Harper. 35 to 40 home runs.
Yeah, I was 35 to 40. I thought he'd be a top 5 player in the NL.
I thought so, too.
I thought he'd be an MVP
and that's very
type.
reasonable. I thought those are exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
And the first year,
and I don't think that was unreasonable to think that he could be there, but
I still think he could bounce back. I think this year he's a bit lost in the injury cloud.
AC joins us on The Fanatic. Good morning, AC. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. John, you're right on point about Bryce Harper. I don't know what these two clowns are talking about.
Hey, I'm right here, Ace.
Yeah, right, buddy. I'm telling you right now that you guys, I don't know what you guys are smoking, but you signed a guy for 13 years. And a guy with, who's going into his prime.
Yes.
He should not be injury prone at this point, and he should be a 40 to 120 RBI guy every year till he's at least 35. Schmitty won an MVP at 36, and the players are supposedly better now, in better shape, with more technology. So I don't want to hear the garbage, okay, that Bryce Harper, he's met expectations or that's bull crap. Have a great day.
Thank you, bud.
Thanks, bud.
He's not over it either.
So you go to a restaurant, right?
Okay.
And this restaurant has a pedigree of being a 3-star restaurant.
Okay.
But you're really excited. So you say, you convince yourself, maybe it'll be a 5-star restaurant this time. And they end up being a 3-star restaurant. That's not on the restaurant, that's on you. And that's AC's problem. He expected all this crap. And when you look at the numbers and you literally got the same player he was in Washington, then I'm sorry, AC, and it's a clown talking here, but you're an idiot. Like, you expected the world, and now you're mad because you were let down?
I would tell you here, as someone else is pointing out on social media, if Pat is trying to tell me that Bryce Harper is the same defensive player that he was in Washington, but you're saying you got the same player. His defense now is subpar. In Washington, no one ever accused him of being a subpar defender. He is now a subpar right fielder.
Yeah,
and so he's not the same player that the Phillies signed.
I mean, now we were talking.
Is that not fair?
No, I thought we were kind of talking about.
We are talking about that. No, but
defensively,
he's a liability.
Defensively, what I'll say is every single person on this team all of a sudden decided to not play defense. I don't know if it's necessarily just Bryce Harper, if it's something that they're working on. Because I'm as perplexed as everybody else on why the hell Bryce Harper went from being a fair defensive right fielder to being lost out
He's
there.
lost.
And to AC's other point about expectations, if he's looking for a 40 and 125 plus guy, guess what? They don't really exist in baseball.
See, I think that's crazy. If you're putting,
but that's what people talk themselves into.
If Bryce Harper was giving them 33 120.
That's about what he gave you his first year.
1 year he did.
Well,
yes.
1 year was a shortened season.
But he's in his prime.
But now he's hurt. I mean, you can't.
But he's in his prime.
You can't
Last
deny
year's in his prime. This year's in his prime.
The effects of catching a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to the face, hurting your wrist, holding your shoulder, and overcoming a back issue. And look, those are all concerns about why you don't sign him.
That's why you don't sign someone to 13 years with a lot of wear and tear.
His struggles this year are understandable. I mean, what AC said, you should be doing 40 and 125. I went back to 2019. There's nobody. Pete Alonso hit 53 home runs that year and only had 120 RBIs.
That's because of that horrible Mets lineup that he's
okay. But
by the way,
there's
that
literally
Mets lineup is still horrible.
There's 1, 2, 3. 10 guys with over 40 home runs in all of baseball that year, and nobody met 125 RBIs. That's an unrealistic expectation. If he's giving you 35 and 114, which he did his first year here, he is meeting expectations.
And he has not, so he's met expectations 33% of the time.
Well, one's not even a real season, and this
no, last year. Yes, you do.
It was, 60 games?
Guys had good years last year.
I don't think he had a bad year last year.
You base it on that. He had good. Did he have what you expected last year?
He had 13 home runs and 33 RBIs and 244 plate appearances.
Not what you expected.
I mean, he had a 420 on base, a 542 slugging, and a 962
When we're
OPS.
talking about Bryce Harper, we're not talking about RBIs, home runs.
It's his career best, second career best in OPS. I mean, it wasn't a bad year. It's again, people's expectations, I think, are out of whack.
Mike in Princeton joins us. Mike, good morning. You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, guys, I just want to say I think Ace is the one smoking stuff, but I do agree with the quote-unquote clowns.
Okay.
Look at what we've had the past 15 years with stars that we either drafted or that we brought in, even all-stars. Is Harper not in the top 3 that have actually lived up to expectations?
Absolutely.
I don't think he's lived up to expectations. I'm just saying
but what's the expectation? I'm sorry. Keep going.
No. You tell me, like, the day he was signed, you're telling me he's met the expectations you had the day he was signed. Because, Mike, I'm going to tell you, I bet you're lying to me.
I'll tell you why I believe it. It's because it's supply and demand. We had to pay that dollar because someone else would. So we had to cough up the money. It is what it is.
No, Mike. No, you and I are in agreement there. I wanted Manny Machado, but that's just that's splitting hairs, okay? But you're telling me what you expected the day he was signed. You're telling me he's met your expectations.
Absolutely. I'm not concentrating on the 12 years and the X amount of dollars.
No. I'm not talking. Put that aside, Mike. I'm telling you, his performance has lived up to your He's been meaning expectations means he's exactly the player you thought you were getting.
Yes. I don't think he's going to be a Tom Brady of baseball.
Wow.
100%. It lived up to what I thought.
Mike, do me a favor.
He's gone on and done a lot more, but...
Mike, do you go back and read the newspapers from the day he was signed? Go back and read the fan base from the day he was signed.
But that's not fair because the newspapers, the day he was signed, followed Rhys Hoskins' advice and only wrote about the good stuff.
Yeah.
So when did they make the heel turn and start just writing about
when Rhys Hoskins took a ball in the face?
Because I will tell you, the Bryce Harper recruitment in the Philadelphia media was very fanboyish.
Well, because we're desperate.
And they were.
Yeah.
And they were. And I
mean,
understand it.
In the media,
and guess what?
Which I am.
Guess what? It's still better to do. I did not, 13 years.
I need the Phillies to matter in my life. I really do.
It drives you crazy when they don't.
And they're not going to be relevant unless they spend money. So, and back to AC's point, Mike Trout is modern day Mickey freaking Mantle.
You can't compare him.
In 2019, he had 45 home runs and 104 RBIs. So, like, your expectations are out of whack, man.
Do you remember that was part of the day, too, as somebody, it's weird that you say Mike Trout? He goes, John, I pulled up 2 of the Philly newspapers that day, and they both talk about, well, the next shoe's going to drop. Mike Trout's going to come.
That was the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Yeah,
they were going to have Trout and Harper.
But Harper did stir the pot by making reference to recruiting Mike Trout.
No, this is the day he was signed.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was never happening.
Everybody and their mother should have known at that point Trout was waiting for the market to be set to sign a massive contract.
Correct. And he did. And he did. And he's exactly where he wants to be. Anonymous Phil.
So I'm glad
where he has no stress.
Yeah, I'm glad we handled that. So he's met expectations. He hasn't exceeded, right?
Or he hasn't. No, we have not met.
Yeah, he's
not
met.
I think we're all friends here.
He's not met.
Yeah, it's good baseball talk.
Yes, please. Can we as long as we're not discussing whether Spider-Man is a Spider Boy.
Spider Boy.
Well, you just gave out the 9 o'clock hour. Way to go.
Oh, man. What opportunity did the Phillies actually waste this weekend? Plus, Jalen Hurts, you're in the spotlight. The 8 o'clock hour, the John Kincaid Show comes your way next here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Do not delay. Lock in your deposit right now because we want you to come to Vegas with us. Go to phillysportstrips.com. Have your credit card ready and join us out there to see your birds in Vegas. We will stay at the 50-yard line of Vegas hotels, the famous Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. So you reserve your spot early. Join us on the private charter flight out there. Philly Sports Trips does it better than any other local sports travel company, hands down. We're going to have a blast at the opening night Welcome to Vegas party, including open bar and hanging with us. And John Dorenbos is going to put a private magic show on for us on Saturday night. Hanging by the pool all weekend long. An unbelievable game day tailgate party. And, of course, the game. You do not want to miss this. So go now. PhillySportsTrips.com. That's PhillySportsTrips.com to join us. We will see you in Las Vegas.
97.5 The Fanatic. The Fanatic.
All right, 8 a.m. sponsor of the John Kincaid Show is Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers. Visit paworkinjury.com. I can't read every commentary offered by our YouTube viewers.
I'm sure it was a rational
I can't read them
discussion.
all. No, there was. It was a very good discussion.
A lot of clown emojis.
No, but it seems as if the number one overriding opinion is that this city sets unrealistic expectations, and then when players don't meet them, we bitch and complain about it.
100%. I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, like Ben Simmons being Baby Magic Johnson. That's on me.
So, no. So Ben Simmons being as bad as he's been offensively, that's bad because the number one player drafted has no offensive game and has no desire to shoot in games. That's a Philadelphia fan's fault?
No, it's not John, you're misconstruing what you're hearing here. It's not a Philadelphia fan's fault. It's my fault.
It's yours.
It's mine alone.
The expectations were wrong of the number one player in the draft. So Aaron Nola, your boy Nola.
Yeah, the ace.
So the expectations of Aaron Nola is he should be just what he is? Aaron Nola is an ace.
And how is he not?
He should be just what it is?
Well, I think baseball is different. Baseball, because of the draft and the way it is, like it's such a crapshoot that I think if you get... Like Jamie's talked about it before. He talked about it a couple weeks ago that originally the plan for Nola, not the plan, but the projection was he was probably the third starter.
Yeah, I went back and looked at all of his scouting reports, and people projected him as a third. So he's exceeded expectations, yet when you gave us the tease of being a top 3 pitcher in the NL, we probably shifted our expectations to something that was unfair.
Yeah, some of us, not naming names, but some of us maybe thought that, he was an ace. Once again, not naming names.
Aaron Nola is an ace. I think it was completely unfair
to expect that every year.
Aaron Nola was, because it wasn't Aaron Nola doing it. Aaron Nola, you barely know what his voice sounds like. He's anonymous. It wasn't Aaron Nola, building himself up. It was the fan base and the media build him up.
Yeah, and
not Aaron Nola.
We have these discussions all the time, so we're partially.
And by the way, he's
a
perfect 3.
I think he's still a 2. Anthony and I have had debates, going back 3 and 4 years at least, and I always said, he's a really good number 2.
I think he's frustrating and inconsistent.
Zach Wheeler's clearly the ace of this staff. It's not even a debate anymore. But I think if he's a number 2, you're in a pretty good situation.
We do set unrealistic expectations, though, and I think it's because of our want to have nice things. We want to have that guy, so we want to believe the outlier season is the norm, and we want to believe that it's going to continue. And with Ben Simmons, it's a different story. I think a lot of people thought he could be Magic Johnson because those were the projections, that was his ceiling. He could be. And you just heard that, and you ran with it. I don't think anyone expected him not to shoot.
Does the media hype these players up, or does the fan base hype them up?
Both. I think there's an extension of the fans in us. I know I read a lot. I follow a lot of listeners because I'm always interested in what the fan base is saying and thinking, and if we're overreacting, underreacting, just being right. So I think there is an outlet of the fan through us. I think so 100%. The conversations of, is he an ace or not? Is he an MVP or not?
Well, those were stupid conversations stupid people were bringing to the table.
Well, there's also no gray area anymore. It's either black or white. So for every person that will bring up the deficiencies in Ben Simmons' game right now, there's going to be some blogger out there who's going to show you some analytical formula to show that he's actually an amazing player and that we don't appreciate him. And then that gets the other side that goes, well, no one said that we don't like him. And then all of a sudden, it gets contentious and heated, and that's what lacks in the black and white situation. There's no gray area.
What opportunity did the Phillies waste this weekend?
Ugh.
They lose in extra innings in Game 1 after Nola strikes out 10. By the way, Pat, I gave you that heads up on Friday.
That was a really good call by you.
Yeah, I wish I had bet that.
And let me ask you, you talk about blaming us, like putting the blame on us. Why don't you do that more often? Because it's clear that he heard you.
He heard me.
And he said, wow, John believes in me.
He was listening on the app.
Absolutely he was.
It's like the old Mookie Wilson quote.
I woke up Friday morning, and I absolutely was convinced. I'm looking at the Mets lineup. Now, I will give this one admission. That the reason I picked, people were like, what are the lotto numbers? Man, you nailed it with Aaron Nola. It is because at around 5:15 a.m., 5:20 a.m. before the show, I was reviewing that Mets lineup, and it's terrible. And after watching them in 4 games this weekend, the Mets lineup is horrible. We complain about the Phillies lineup. If the Mets had the Phillies offense, the Mets right now, that lineup, it's terrible. They'd be 9 games up. They'd be running away with this thing. That is a terrible offensive club. And that's the reason that I thought Aaron Nola would do so well. And Zach Eflin, that was a freaking great Saturday afternoon. That was awesome to watch you do that. And I'm sorry your manager didn't believe in you. But the Phillies could have and should have cut the division lead to 1. Instead, they come in today 5 games out. And Rhys Hoskins at the centerpiece of both collapses. It's terrible. I mean, it is. And every 9th inning, every time they've got a lead, every time the bullpen is put into place, there is a bad defensive play made.
Yeah, pretty much.
Every time. It's all over the place.
It's unbelievable, frankly, that the defense is as poor as it is, and Joe Girardi hasn't done anything about it.
Well, what do you do, though? Because I got to ask
Hoskins
about that. I would have.
On Sunday, I say, Rhys, you're taking a seat. There just needs to be some accountability. Like, if Bohm needs to be sat down for whoever, I don't even care. It's not like you're losing amazing offense right now anyway. A message needs to be sent that this poor of defense isn't acceptable. And it's pathetic. I've never, even when the Phillies have been bad throughout my lifetime, they've usually had some good defenders. To be bad because the defense is atrocious to me, it's inexcusable. So when you have 2 guys that are statistically the worst in baseball at first and third base at fielding their positions, it's a real problem. And we just continue to trot out the same thing over and over and expecting something else. It's pathetic. It's pathetic defense.
By the way, we have a New York Giants talk fan who has joined the YouTube channel for whatever reason. JK's clueless. The Mets lineup is terrible because we've had like 20 players on the DL. Wait a minute, it's one of the Mets players. This is monitoring.
I'm
he just said
guilty of the we
because we have So we now he says that, and I'm like, okay, what does he not understand about Friday morning at 5:20 a.m.? I pulled up the Mets lineup, and I said that's a terrible lineup. Nola's going to have a day. What don't you understand about that, dude? What can't you understand about it? Well, they have injured players. Okay, what does that have to do with what I said? I looked at who they're going to have to face that weekend, and the Mets lineup is horrendous. By the way, I believe they're 29th out of 30 in baseball. 29th out of 30. And yes, they've had injuries. And every baseball team's had injuries. Yes, they all have them. But you're talking about the lineup that the pitcher, when you're getting ready to make a bet, when you're ready to, I get the Parks Casino Sportsbook app out. Don't you look at who they're facing?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know what. Now, New York Giants talk. He's had a problem because he's probably watching the VHS tapes of Eli Manning, thinking that he's an elite quarterback. So,
Laserdisc.
New York Giants talk.
Don't be ridiculous. It's on Laserdisc.
Hey, baseball's back. Download the Home Team Sportsbook app from the Parks Casino Sportsbook. I would suggest that you look at the lineups and make educated decisions like I try to do. You got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. By the way, for full disclosure, from the time I started to the time I wake today, I am $126 ahead.
On the year.
I was down to $13 ahead.
Nice.
At one point, and I was up at one point over 400.
Congratulations on your success.
That isn't success.
That's retirement right there.
That's terrible.
I was down to like my final $10 until I hit on John Rahm last weekend.
You did hit on that, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I threw in some Euro parlays over the weekend and didn't.
Rahm's got a little bit of a Connor quality. There's something about Connor. When I see John Rahm, I see Connor.
A little bit.
They look a little alike. Dave in Maryland joins us on The Fanatic. Jay, what's going on, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys? The Harper contract is what I think we got what we expect. What I expected. I'm from near the DC area. I think 260, 30 home runs. I mean, if you look at the one full year he did have, and then if you put the last year's numbers out, this year his two injuries are a big bulk of getting hit in the face and getting hit in the shin. And I mean, if you take those out of the equation, he probably has about 15 home runs. He's going to, about halfway through the year. So I think that's what you get. The bigger problem with them is that you give Didi a $14 million contract for 2 years instead of, spending on a guy like Melanson who's got 24 saves. You put your money in the wrong resources. And the other thing is you put your development and the guys who Bryce Harper was supposed to complement stink. And that's like, Reese Hoskins, Alec Boehm. I mean, they're the guys that were supposed to be the pieces around him. Even JT has been very underperforming.
But wait a minute, though. Are we not going to talk about the fact that half of Bryce Harper's game has fallen apart? His defense is subpar.
In 2019, he was a great defender. Last year, I mean...
You mean in 18? No, 19. I'm sorry, 19.
Yeah, 19 he was fine.
No. 19 he was fine.
I thought he exceeded defensive
expectations. I think he exceeded 19.
Yeah.
He was perfectly fine.
Yes.
But he's subpar last year, more subpar this year.
I wonder if the fastball to the face affected something with his depth perception because he wasn't even reading
vision.
Yeah, he wasn't even reading things off the bat properly. There was a couple where he took steps forward and they were over his head. There was one by the foul line earlier this year that he completely misread. I wonder if something happened where he maybe.
We talked about that on the air one day. I said I worry about
it. Would at least explain it.
I do think too the lineup has affected his production at the plate. I mean,
no, I agree.
Alec Boehm taking a giant step back and not being even close to the player he was last year
doesn't help.
You got Andrew McCutchen hitting behind you in the order, and nothing against Kutch, and he's played really well lately. But
he really has.
But that wasn't what you expected when you came here. Was you kind of expected insurance policies behind you to get good pitches.
Wait a minute, McCutchen and Gene Segura, the two best options in your offensive lineup?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a problem. especially when you've got the 13-year man and the 5-year man.
Yeah, well,
this morning, JT Realmuto came up all weekend long. All weekend long with opportunities for big hits. I mean, it was... Now, nobody will say it because, again, somebody, wanted to be a Philly.
Well,
so it's going to be... But
he's been disappointing this year.
He came up over and over again with opportunities to get a big hit. And these are the games that I expect the guy that you go out there and you say, we're going to pay him big money, we're going to pay him above market value. Because nobody else was offering it. So you paid above market value, and you're not getting anything from it. And it's not... And then you have holes everywhere else because you are a team that's going to work on a budget, as every team does. They got a budget of what they're going to spend.
Yeah, their budget is the luxury tax line.
And their budget is your right fielder and your catcher. That's where it's at right now.
Well, you have $20 million in left field, $12 million in center field.
Which is going to go.
Well, and Didi's spending 45 days in Lehigh Valley. I mean, I've never seen a guy love Lehigh Valley more than Didi.
What's it about, though? There's got to be an injury, right?
It is.
He had a setback, I believe.
He had a setback, and he's slower to recover to the injury than they initially thought. But that's killing him too.
Hey, in the linchpin, Jamie says this guy might be looked at as the salvation.
This is the linchpin.
I saw the pictures this weekend. Him running routes with Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. All eyes are going to be on you, my man. The positive he has going for him, I believe, is that people don't expect a ton. I think more than half of the Eagles fan base would probably tell you he's not the guy of the future. I think it's probably like a 50-50 split. I'm just making that up.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that's kind of what...
I think it's less than 50-50.
Yeah, perhaps. So I think the expectations are low, but our sports fandom is on edge right now. The Sixers really broke our hearts. The Phillies, we didn't have title expectations, but we had potential playoff expectations, and the Flyers have taken a step back. So we're disgruntled, we're unhappy, we're on edge, and football is the salvation right now. And Jalen Hurts, you could have us like silly putty in the palm of your hand if you go out there and perform well this year, because I think people are just waiting to gobble up a new optimistic start of the season. And Jalen Hurts has a chance to win a lot of people over.
Question is, does it then suck into the, well, if Jalen Hurts comes out and plays well, are we going to be accused of, well, they set unrealistic expectations on Jalen Hurts? First of all, I don't think it's unrealistic expectations if you expect a second-round pick to be able to be your starting quarterback.
Sure, no. That's a fair expectation. But if he's the quarterback of the future is the real question.
If you draft a guy in the second round, he's supposed to be your quarterback of the future.
But I think there's enough concerns with Hurts and how teams, game plan for him in the second half and his minimal 4 starts that people are, I think, giving him a chance, but cautious.
I want to. It's so weird because there are athletes that I blatantly will root for, and some that just turn me off. Where I want them to do well because they play for my team, but
Sure.
they turn me off.
He's a root for guy.
Jalen Hurts is. He's everything I want to root for, Pat. But even I can't move the meter enough to say I'm confident that he's going to take this job by the throat.
No.
And be the guy.
He's said all the right things. He's done all the right things. But I would be in the category that Jamie described of, willing to give him obviously the benefit of the doubt, but not overly confident that he is the guy, because I just didn't see enough last year. I saw defenses completely expose him in the second half. And look, you can say all the right things and you can do all the right things and you can be in the building, but if you don't have the T word, if you don't have the talent to do it, that's the big thing you need.
Does this team, though, if the offensive line is as good as Jamie is projecting it to be, if healthy.
Yeah, if healthy.
Now we're assuming health, which is a risk.
Sure.
But if they're healthy, I would expect you have a top third of the NFL offensive line.
Definitely. If they say healthy, I think you do.
Top third.
Yeah.
So there's 32 teams, so you're talking about a top 10-ish type team. Then
you should have some weapons, too.
You've got weapons.
Yeah, I mean, Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, whatever the hell's happening with Zach Ertz, we'll find out. Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, maybe, what's his name? The guy that got Fulgham is something.
I got to know if Sanders is going to have the Butterfingers endorsement, though, this year.
No, he's going to be getting better balls out of the backfield.
I want him to really...
Because I really do believe the best ball Jalen Hurts throws is the pass to the running back, either on a curl, bubble, screen.
He made a career, though.
Yeah, so I think he's going to be on the money with those throws. I think Sanders will revert back to not being horrible at it.
You got to think, too... And another thing that I keep coming back to is I'm trying to read something every day find something about these Eagle coaches that I don't know, to find out something that maybe cracks the code about what they want. And the whole idea of every offense that Nick Sirianni's been involved with, they really are among the tops in the NFL at short passing, like really short
Well, that's
passes.
good for Jalen Hurts.
It does fit.
They fit in that regard.
But he doesn't fit being the mobile, get around.
That's where Sirianni has to let his wings branch out and learn how to fly, You gotta be able to utilize that. If you have a mobile quarterback, that's a strength that not a lot of defenses want a game plan for every week. So you got to find a way to incorporate that into the offense.
I just want him to be successful.
Yeah,
Gosh.
I think it's going to help, too. There's no controversy this year like there was last year. Like last year, I felt like it was a divided locker room with Carson guys and Jalen Hurts guys that were sick of Carson's shtick or whatever it may be. Like this year, there's not that. I don't see a divided locker room between Jalen Hurts guys and Joe Flacco guys. I see it being...
No, there won't be any...
I see it being Jalen Hurts' team, and it's going to stay like that until, he probably the whole season.
Don't you dare disrespect Nick Mullins' name like that ever again, Pat.
Joe Flacco.
I got to tell you this. I watched Nick Mullins play in the last few years, and I watched Joe Flacco.
He's probably better than Flacco.
Nick Mullins is better than Flacco. Period. Now, not his career, not
even close.
not maybe his football IQ either.
No, and you hope that's what you're getting in Flacco is the veteran in the quarterback room with that coaching staff.
That's what I look for.
Yeah,
he'll earn. Well, no, they paid him too much, but he'll try to earn his money.
Yeah,
by doing that.
Yeah,
I mean, in terms of Southern Mississippi quarterbacks, it's Nick Mullins, then Brett Favre, then everybody else.
Pretty much. If Jalen Hurts got hurt, and I don't want to even put that in the universe. I want Nick Mullins to be the quarterback. Flat out.
That would be interesting to see what they did there because they obviously paid Joe Flacco, handsomely for his position.
I hope they paid him though to be able to coach Jalen up. That's never been Flacco's reputation.
No, it hasn't. But that's my
assumption. He's never been cooperative with younger players or been that guy.
You hope at this stage in his career he knows that's what he is. And in hell, I mean, if you're giving me a retirement gig of $4 million where I can sit and teach somebody, hell yeah, sign me up.
Mark Brunell made how much money? Well, and then lost it, but made how much money doing that exact job in his career?
It's a sweet gig,
just
man.
Being, the veteran guy to teach the younger player, and it is a sweet gig. You just hope that the Eagles conveyed that to him when he signed.
By the way, you made reference to that there. If you have never gone down the rabbit hole of finding out how Mark Brunell lost all his money.
He was part of that series that ESPN did. Was it called Broke or something?
Yeah. 30 for 30.
Yeah. He made the dumbest decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I can't even believe it. Like, I don't understand how people don't obsess more on money, especially people who have it.
He invested in a muffin shop without the stump of the muffins. It was just the top of the muffins. It was called Top of the Muffins, yeah.
Top of the muffin to you.
Yeah.
Did he actually? He didn't actually do that.
No.
All right, good. Well, because I always thought in Seinfeld, I was like, that's kind of a brilliant idea.
And who was the woman at the homeless shelter when he tried to drop them off? Do you remember her name?
No.
She was Rebecca De Mornay.
Was it really?
Yes. She was called Rebecca De Mornay. Her name on the show was Rebecca De Mornay.
That's great.
Oh, that show was so
That's
good.
a great show.
Timeless.
I would buy muffin tops.
Yeah, so would I.
Well, that's what Mark Brunell thought, too, but nobody came.
You just think, though, when guys go broke because they buy 15 cars.
Like Antoine Walker or Mark Brunell.
Allen Iverson.
I'd rather be Antoine Walker because at least I partied and gambled with Jordan and have some memories. Mark Brunell just lost it on dumb investments.
To me, though, the guy who I understand why the moron loses their money when they buy 15 cars and have 20 family members on their payroll and waste their money.
A smart person losing their money, I don't get.
The guy who loses their money on bad investments,
I feel bad for that guy.
That's painful.
I feel more because I'm like, how dumb are you?
Exactly.
I feel more bad for that guy because at least they tried to set themselves up for the future. I mean, there was a former Eagle. He was an undrafted free agent, and he had a really good career as an undrafted free agent. But I remember reading one time he had 3 houses and 11 cars, and it's like, dude, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
3 houses? You're one person.
Antoine Walker lived it up and lived life.
By the way, the amount of people who do not have someone to advise them on money,
it's probably terrifying.
It's horrifying.
I don't want to drop his name, but my personal close friend Shaq. I saw an interview with him talking about when he first got in the NBA, meeting with all these financial advisors. The one he went with wasn't talking about, we'll put your money here. The one he went with was talking about, we're going to put your money in stocks and bonds.
See?
And he went with that guy, and he was like, all right, well, that's the guy who will actually set me up for the future, and it worked.
And he also didn't understand who FICO was.
Oh, the credit score, yeah.
Shaq got $1 million from the Lakers in like a signing bonus, something like that. Mm-hmm. And Shaq thought $1 million was $1 million. I swear to you, he did not.
I don't deny it.
Wait a minute. This is after he left Orlando.
So he should have been from. Oh, because they didn't have state income tax.
He was like, no, the state. No, this is a FICA.
Yeah.
He didn't even get. He's like, wait a minute. How could I? Because the financial advisor was like, Shaq, and that's when the light bulb went off, and he started to do it, and he made an empire. So good for him.
We'll try to get him on the show, John.
We can get him sometimes.
I think you'd like it.
He shouts out the show sometimes. He gives us a little bit of love.
That's because of Jamie.
Is the NBA ready for this? It appears they're not. It's the John Kincaid Show on The Fanatic. We have officially entered summertime. And if you've seen the weather report for this week, it is the dog days of summer. And what's the good news about the dog days of summer? My dog's coming to town this week. Nikki Foles is coming to town to hang out with me. And I'm going to bring her over to Pets Plus Natural. Maybe hook her up. Let her do a little shopping spree, maybe. Check out their Facebook page, Pets Plus Natural, and let them know why you want to adopt a dog. They will select one lucky winner. Pets Plus Natural will pick up the adoption fee. They want every dog to be part of a loving home. Their mission is not only to help you take care of your dog in the healthiest way possible, but to ensure that your dog's going to be around for a long, long time. To find happy homes for all the dogs they've rescued. You may know a family that would love and cherish a dog. Tell Pets Plus Natural about it. Go to Pets Plus Facebook page. Let them know they'll choose one lucky family to adopt a dog of their choice. And Pets Plus picks up the adoption fee. These are good folks. Go to PetsPlusNatural.com to see all they have to offer. And maybe you'll meet Nikki Foles next week right here on the show.
97.5 The Fanatic. The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the John Kincaid Show on this Monday. We appreciate you being a part of the show. It is going to be freaking hot.
Oof.
Another heat wave.
Yesterday was a sweaty mess.
Today's going to be awful. Tomorrow's going to be awful. Wednesday's going to be awful.
It was humid this weekend. It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
And you start getting the
swamp
wet.
ass.
No, don't say
Yeah.
He had to get it in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens on those sweaty
He had to
days.
get it in there. Not for everybody.
It's the back sweat that drips down.
Only sometimes on the golf course.
Oh,
if
yeah.
It's really, really hot.
I went to Topgolf on Saturday.
Now, you didn't have it there because Topgolf is beautiful.
It was cooking.
Gotta love that. Good time, though?
Yeah, it was my cousin John's 40th, so we did that.
That's a great time.
Yeah, it was a great time. He had a blast, and then a little pool party after. And today's my wife's birthday, so happy birthday, Addie.
Hi, Addie. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
She's getting a new grill for her birthday.
Now, did she break your grill? By the way,
I say it with no blame, but yes.
You don't know if she broke your grill, but you explained what happened, and I told you exactly how I broke my grill.
Yeah.
And it's the same exact scenario.
I should have known when she said, I'm going to go clean the grill. She was cleaning the grease trap and the innards and all that. I think the starter doesn't make the same sound anymore. There's no...
Yes. I used the Super Foam, this like cleaner they had at Home Depot to like clean the inside of the grill. And it made it look like...
brand new.
A shiny...
Yeah,
it was awesome. You have to let it sit. You let it sit for like 15 minutes.
Scrubbing bubbles at work.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is I decided to take it off with wet paper towels.
Yeah.
Which had been wet with water.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of water got down into the starter.
I think she may have. She claims she didn't, but I think she did. Well, I'm
an idiot.
I was having her parents over and my mother over for dinner tonight.
And you couldn't cook?
And I was going to, tonight. And I was going to grill. I guess I got to broil it inside and sear the tuna inside. It's not the same.
Oh, no. Tuna shouldn't be a big problem, right?
It's not a big deal. I just like grilling more than I like being in a kitchen.
You enjoyed the grill.
Yeah. So no grill at our house.
By the way, Dave the Builder, he listens to the show. He told me that we have our walkthrough on Thursday.
You better look out for Dave, man.
And he said flat out that he will not put stuff into my walls. And that he is going to have that house ready to be looked at on Thursday.
They're making good headway there.
I drove out the other day and I can't get over it. Like I
was shocked when you sent the picture. I was like, damn, they're moving.
Is a structure.
Yeah, they're moving.
And all the shingles were on.
There you go.
The guy was putting the shingles on the roof and he said, I'm almost done.
Wow.
I'm like, they are moving. So Dave's got to be ready for us on Thursday because the lady of the house will be in town.
Look out.
For the big walkthrough. She doesn't want to miss that at all. So
it's exciting.
So it brings, so it brings us to ladies. Is the NBA, I was thinking the NBA looked like they were ready to hire a female head coach. But it appears that it was maybe more of a dog and pony show. Because Dame Lillard reportedly wanted to play for a female head coach. He wanted to play for Becky Hammon. And Becky Hammon got a second interview with Portland. And it ended up just going to Chauncey Billups. And so I wondered, first of all, as a coach, I would tell you that Becky Hammon has more pedigree than Chauncey Billups.
Absolutely.
As a coach,
sure.
And as a person who has coached internationally, has coached the summer league team for her franchise for like 6 seasons.
Yeah, she's coached under probably the greatest basketball coach.
One of them.
Possibly ever. A top fiver for sure.
Sure, Pops is there.
So that's pretty big on the resume, too.
And but is the NBA really ready for a female head coach? And I've got to tell you, and I will raise my hand, I thought they were, but I also, if you had told me 5 years ago, I would have thought that I'd never see the day when the NBA would hire a female head coach.
When she was first hired, I thought this was going to be an inevitability at some point.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Just because the respect she got from players around the league seemed to be real. And I think NBA players would want to see that. So I thought once she had respect from enough guys around the league talking about her and her basketball IQ and all that stuff, I thought it was going to happen because today's NBA players really respect and admire WNBA players and the game. I think they watch women's basketball, college, and WNBA. They support it. So I think there's that kind of whatever you want to call it between the two leagues, where I think the respect is real. So I did think it was going to happen. Maybe now I thought it would.
She just gets the job when Pops retires.
Possibly. The fact that Dame
if she
wanted
doesn't
her,
get that job,
then something's up. The fact Dame wanted her and she's not there, it stuns me, to be honest.
I'm very surprised she didn't get hired. I was convinced one of the teams were going to hire her. It's like,
I thought Dallas might have.
Yeah.
Because of Mark Cuban, and Mark is constantly, we're cutting edge, we're progressive, even though they had the one executive had a stripper pole in his office or something.
That one executive's bad news. But
how does that happen, by the way?
I'm watching the morning show right now.
If you're Mark Cuban,
he knew.
You
cut out the high and mighty stuff, Mark.
You have to hear whispers and rumblings.
Yeah.
But it's like she's become the Eric Bieniemy of the NBA.
Yes.
Where it's like, what's going on here? Like, why? She's got the pedigree, she's got the references, she's got all that stuff. She's got the endorsement of the star player, and yet she can't get hired. And I just, if any city would do it, you'd think it'd be Portland.
It's the problem is that I guess nobody wants to be first. No one wants to pull the trigger first and hire a coach.
I think that's a big part of it.
A female coach.
Or
I want to see somebody else do it first because we're going to get ridiculed. Here's what I would say is Shaq has told us on this show coaches are minuscule in the overall whether you win or lose. So that would be the reason to a woman who understands the game extremely well, teaches it in practice. She runs practice for the Spurs around 60% of the time, where Pops will observe, and she's running it with his plan, of course, but she's running his practice, and he's observing, and then he's doing like one-on-one, and she's running the practice.
I mean, who's more important to the Trailblazers, a nameless head coach or Dame Lillard?
I'd want to make Dame happy, I would think.
Exactly. So the fact that she didn't get it when he was so publicly calling for it.
Supposedly it was back channels, but if you read the Portland press,
she must not.
He was letting it be known that it would have been cool to play for Becky Hammond.
She must not interview well, whatever that means.
I hate that.
I know, but I think it's.
Or she's a female.
Or she's a female.
It's exactly what John said.
I think it's she's.
But a city like Portland is the perfect place for that for them to be the first.
Absolutely.
I couldn't think of a better city for her to
San Fran
start out.
San Fran.
Yeah. But those are probably two of the top three cities for her to be, tried out.
Which makes you wonder, if it's not now, then when will it be?
Yeah, when will it be? I mean, this is the time I would think that.
I think it will happen still.
I would watch her because always going in July, the Spurs would stay for Summer League. They stayed at Bellagio. And she would get her coffee every morning. And you would have the young players coming downstairs. I guess they were heading out to head on over to the arena. And she would stop at least 3 or 4 of them. Did you see the video I sent you? Did you respond back? She had the command of these young guys.
Yeah.
And they were...
That's the hardest thing to get, is the respect from the league, not even your own team, just around the league. And she appeared to have that.
And it's clearly gotten around, because if Dame Lillard is getting it out there that he wants her as the head coach.
Right.
You know, I mean, clearly the players talk, and the fact that, no, she's the real deal. This isn't a gimmick. She's the real deal. She can coach in the NBA. That's clearly gotten to Portland, and it's gotten to Dame.
Mr. Snuffy says, I run basketball practice. Hey, gentlemen, today we're going to play basketball. Honestly, how hard could it be? Are you serious, Snuffy?
Come on, Snuff.
Come on, Mr. Snuff.
You better, Snuff.
Usually bring something better than
Look,
that.
it's not rocket science, but it's certainly not just roll a basketball
I think
out
running
there.
a practice is not easy.
Running a practice is probably more difficult than the game.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And the assistant coaches work in the NBA, I've heard, work way more than the head coach.
Well, I can tell you,
like they're constantly in the video room breaking down. I mean, they grind it out, man.
Hey, it's Mattress Firm's 4th of July sale for a limited time. Save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's. We were having a discussion off the air, Jamie, about customer service.
Yes,
and
it's
I
strange.
see, by the way, it's a trending story with New York Times, too, about how businesses are saying they can't get people to work.
Yeah, I think that the benefits that people, probably were making more money than they did at their jobs runs out in October, I want to say. So maybe things will change then. But it's just been weird, kind of. There's less, I don't know, good customer service than there used to be. We tried to get my wife a massage for her birthday, and we have 4 places that refuse to call us back. Like, yeah, we'll call you back with pricing. And it's like, well,
they don't want to take your money.
Do you want my money or don't you? She can't even get a call back.
There was a restaurant that one of my friends was at the other day, and they said they walked in. The building was more than half empty, tables, and they got told it was a 25-minute wait. They said, what are you talking about? The place is empty. And they were like, well, we don't have enough servers.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And this is a restaurant. It's a chain restaurant, but it's a restaurant that, they frequent. And we're like, you got to be kidding me. There's nobody. Yeah, we can't seat you.
Yeah,
there's nobody to wait on you.
I went out to eat Saturday night, and it was similar to that story. It was the place was quote unquote full,
right?
Technically, but the servers were clearly working way too many tables to the point where like our server came over and was like, we had just sat down. You guys ready? You guys want to put in appetizers? And it wasn't necessarily out of she was trying to rush us. It was more of you could just tell that she didn't want to forget us because she had 15 other tables or whatever, and you just got to bear with it. But
we call that in the weeds in the industry, Pat.
By the way, your favorite ticket representative?
Yeah, I texted him yesterday.
So we went out to dinner the other night after watching the Phillies game. Went out to dinner with my little cousin, my 6'5" cousin, and he got they have at the restaurant establishment. They have a adult Capri Sun.
Hell yeah, I'm signing up for one of those.
And it came in a giant
tinfoil bag.
No, it came in a bag that looked like something like you'd put like the doctor would hang.
Yeah.
It's like an IV bag. Yeah,
but it was the adult Capri Sun, and he loved it.
I would order that.
I just like Capri
you do that?
Sun.
Wouldn't it be too sweet?
Maybe
whiskey with. Because it's
yesterday I concocted up a new one. It was watermelon lemonade, club soda, and vodka with some mint. It was delicious.
Okay, I'm all in on that. I'd be all in.
I mean, when you order a drink like that, there is the risk that it's too sweet, but I'm willing to take that risk.
I just like Capri Sun. You just right out of the.
So they called it the adult Capri Sun.
I just like it out of the box. You can get it.
It was awesome.
Like 8 for like $3 or whatever it is. I mean, I just like that.
And by the way, Ardmore Theater was open like the other night, and there were all people hanging out in front of Ardmore Theater going in to listen to music. I feel like every day I'm a little more just energized when I get out and walk just to see people out. Suburban Square is packed. I mean, packed with people walking everywhere. It's
good.
It is awesome to see. It's great seeing people out again. And for all you businesses, I hope you're printing money. I really do. I hope you're making up.
Yeah.
Hope you're making up for some times.
Do you know who was at the Ardmore Theater this weekend? Or
no?
Was it Chumbawamba?
I do not know, but it was the crowd. Definitely an IPA crowd.
Nice,
Jamie.
Definitely an IPA crowd. I would say from just who was standing outside around the curbs and everything like that.
All right.
And there may have been 5 or 6 people out of 10 vaping.
Hell yeah.
So
those are
I don't know
Jamie's
who was playing, but it looked like a great lively crowd, and they looked happy to be out, and that makes me happy.
They got a little. See, now I've taken.
And that
Skyler,
makes me happy.
They got a Grateful Dead week coming up.
Where, at Almar Theater?
Yeah. So the head shop will be getting a lot of workout this week.
So everybody be over on Bong Boulevard, then rolling over.
So they have something
rolling
called,
is the way to put it. Yes.
They have something called a Rock and Roll Playhouse. They do for little kids.
Okay.
Where they'll take like a Beatles or a Grateful Dead or a Bob Marley and make it kid friendly.
Really?
And there's a Grateful Dead kid show. So maybe I'll take.
Is
Skyler
that daytime or nighttime?
Usually it's daytime. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've taken Jack to the Guar version of that.
It is a
Death metal rock and roll playhouse.
Aren't you? But are you? Am I the only one that's like reacting to? I love seeing people out and about.
No, it's great.
Like right now, it's so much fun. When I walk by like a restaurant or a bar and I see everybody outside in the patios and it's packed, like that's making me smile.
Yeah, I went to the Union game last Wednesday.
How was that?
It was awesome. The parking was Coach just said it was horrendous, but the actual game was great, and it was nice just being in a crowd with people that you kind of just forgot that there even was a pandemic, and it was nice.
Awesome.
It felt back to normal.
Pat says Danny Green made you feel better. Now wait a minute. You told us you weren't over the Sixers loss.
Yeah, I'm not.
Go on.
This audio is concerning.
Yeah, so he made me feel better for about 35 seconds about the situation. And then he kind of pulled a Lucy and pulled the football away. So let's just play the audio and it'll speak for itself.
I saw a kid that had been going through a lot the whole year, outside, off the court with his family, things back home. It might have come all at once during this time, but you can tell Ben's the type of kid, if he's not pushed or forced to do it, he's not the type to take that risk. And he gets a lot of assists and pushes the pace, and he gets paid to do what he does because he's so good at it. Mind you, he doesn't step outside that box because he knows well enough, I'm good at this, I don't need to step out. It's not like I'm encouraged to do this, so I'm kind of afraid to do this. So we did need him to attack the rim and be more aggressive, but he felt like he was not getting his touch right, and also at the free throw line, it kind of crept up on him mentally. But I think it was a plethora of things that made a domino effect for him to kind of go into a shell.
All right, so
did he just call Ben Simmons a kid numerous times in that cut?
Yes.
He's probably 10 years older than him. I call Connor a kid.
He's what, 26?
Yeah, 24.
24.
So the clip that we just played didn't actually have the beginning. The beginning, he talks about how Ben Simmons is going through a lot, family-wise, emotionally, just things that he didn't disclose publicly.
That makes you not want to shoot?
Well, it made me feel better in the sense of, okay, maybe it can be fixed. Maybe everything that we kind of we heard about, and he just was going through a lot off the court that it bled into on the court. But then when he went into what he just talked about, that clip in there of the domino effect and the fact that you needed him to be more aggressive and he just wasn't because he felt like he was being a deterrent to the team, that worries me. Like, I feel like we're right back to square one with being like, you need to be, the team's begging you to be more aggressive and you're still not doing it.
I think the fact that Danny Green is trying to find excuses for Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And you're not shooting in games because you're having a lot of stuff going on off the court. That's a bunch of crap. It's crap.
Sometimes.
Because in fact, most players will tell you that the court is their escape.
I was just going to say the same thing.
The stadium's their escape, and then that's where they get their life in normal.
Yeah.
Him not wanting to take shots and not wanting to shoot the basketball has nothing to do with whether he's having family drama or otherwise.
No, and Danny went on to, he was saying...
He's trying to do nice. Danny Green's trying to be a good man.
Yes, he is.
He's trying to be a good guy.
And he's trying to give him the excuse that we don't really have time for.
Seriously.
Especially now with Joel Embiid and, his timeline. It's just not syncing up to kind of start over here. But like he says, Ben Simmons is a guy that needs to be pushed. He's not going to do it if he's asked to do it.
Isn't that scary?
It's like, dude, what do you think the last 5 years have been? Brett Brown literally called out, I want him to shoot 1 3-pointer a game. He's been coddled. He's been pushed. He's been everything. It's on him to change, and he's not. There's just no more excuses.
I've never had an employer where I've thought, sign my contract. Now we're going to have to push you.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to push me. So keep pushing me to earn my money.
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
Well,
it makes no sense. And Danny Green's trying to be a good man. Again, he's trying to be a good guy.
He is, but he also revealed a window into Ben.
I think he hurt Ben.
Yeah,
and the comments.
I tend to agree with what you said about the field or the court being an escape, but his downward spiral really started when the rumors started coming out, or his sister went on the thing. That's why I said, okay, well, maybe there's a correlation there. Maybe he can, quote unquote, be saved. The struggle that I have is Ben Simmons has never had to be pushed in his entire basketball life. When you really break it down, Mount Verde, he was the best player on the team, a team full of guys that eventually went to the NBA. LSU, he didn't need to be pushed there. That was a stop a stop on the journey to the NBA. He didn't take that seriously. And then in the NBA. Well, so he's never really had to be pushed.
I disagree that he hasn't been pushed here. I mean, Brett Brown called him out.
But he didn't respect Brett Brown. Brett Brown was an assistant.
I don't think that's.
He was a substitute teacher to Ben Simmons.
Brett Brown literally called in the man's family to have a sit-down meeting of how can we handle this.
And that's so embarrassing.
It is. But
it's embarrassing.
There was pushback from Brett Brown.
I think the fact that Ben Simmons has to be... Danny Green took you behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And I think you hurt him.
But
I think you hurt him by it because it shows Ben Simmons needs to be coddled. He needs to be pushed. He needs to be... What the hell does your boss have to push you to come to work and do your best? Who's like that?
Well, for 19 years, no one ever had to push him. And that's the problem. Is by the time maybe he got to Brett Brown, it was too late.
By the way, for our YouTube audience, they're going to get to see it. I'm going to hand this over to Coach today because it's going to go up in our new morning show lounge. Our Don't Do the Show Before the Show sign, which is going up in our new lounge.
Nice.
Because it looks like our new lounge is getting there.
I hear a rumor that salespeople might join us this week. I don't know.
Okay, who's going to be near us? I'm worried about one of the salespeople.
Which one?
I'm not going to tell you, but one of the salespeople likes quiet. And their cubicle is going to be very close to the morning show lounge. I think we could have civil war.
It's time for you to shut the f***
I think
up.
that's what she's going to be saying to us.
Yeah. You work for me, bitch.
I think that's what could happen.
I think they're going to hate us.
I think they're going to hate us. All right, coming up, which team in Philly is the question? You're going to give me the answer. Next on the John Kincaid Show here on The Fanatic. As a two-time cancer survivor, I say thank you. I say thank you to every single one of you who has helped fund cancer research, because 17 million Americans like me are alive today because of the work of fine people like the American Association for Cancer Research. And that's why we chose for them to be the official charity of the John Kincaid Show. Devastating diseases ravage families. Cancer has done a hell work on so many American families. Making a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today, you can do it at aacr.org/fanatic. Private citizens' donations add up. Bricks in the wall. And thanks to research, you can help fund the next breakthrough. You may choose to make a monthly donation in their Sustaining Hope Club. Donations in any amount add up. You don't have to make a big donation to make an impact. I'm telling you, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I'm here today because of people like you. Go to aacr.org/fanatic to donate today, because cancer research saves lives.
97.5 The Fanatic. .97.5 The Fanatic.
Thanks so much for hanging out with the John Kincaid Show on The Fanatic. 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by our friends with the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. Get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. For details, go to Bagster.com. I understand Anthony Gargano was having a Bagster delivered the other day.
Oh, was he? Some more work done on the home?
And I was hearing something that was really not making me happy.
Oh, he had to go through his storage units or something, right?
He was going through his basement and all this kind of stuff.
Decluttering.
Here's one thing I would say to Anthony, though. I heard him say something about it on Friday. I'm getting the Bagster delivered, and I'm going to go through my stuff. He said, so it'll be in my driveway for like 2 weeks while I go through this. Seriously?
2 weeks?
You can have a dumpster in your driveway for 2 weeks? I don't care if it's a Bagster or not. Anthony, you can't do that to your neighbors.
Maybe it's a huge palatial driveway.
Yeah, but you can't do that to your neighbors, can you? I mean, unless Anthony's living out on, South Fork or some ranch that is out and above nobody. You can't have a dumpster in your driveway for 2 weeks, can you?
I mean, it's your home.
Are you doing a home renovation? If you're doing a home renovation, you're taking out bathrooms and kitchens. If you're Bob, what Bob just did, renovating a house, I get it. But you can't just be going through your basements and have a dumpster for 2 weeks in your driveway, can you? A bagster.
It's a dumpster in a bag, John.
I should say that. You can't do that, right?
Yeah, you can do it. It's your house. I mean, would it irritate me as a neighbor?
I've always
maybe.
I have lived in
hoity-toity golf communities.
No, I've lived in HOA communities too.
Yeah, which is a different set of rules. It wouldn't bother me if my neighbor had one out there for 2 weeks.
A dumpster in their driveway?
But it's a dumpster in a bag.
It is.
It's not a real dumpster.
Is Anthony in today?
He is at Blue Heron Pines.
Blue Heron.
With the Tunis.
But is he in tomorrow too? Because I'll see him tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's like in studio tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, then yeah, he's fine. He's fine. What he's doing, he's well in his right. You do you, Ant.
They're at the Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Invitational.
Let me tell you, a wise man once said,
keep on scratching. Wait a minute. There's a Ron Jaworski Invitational today?
NFL Alumni Celebrity Invitational. They get some big names at it every year. There'll be some Hall of Famers teeing it up at Blue Heron today.
The key word being invitational.
We're not former NFL players.
So you don't get to be there? But Anthony does.
Well, just broadcasting, not golfing.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
on the premise, yes.
Working from 10 to 2.
That's why Tunis was down the shore yesterday during our show. Chuck allowed him to stay down all weekend and just work through it to Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Cool
Chuck is now. So Chuck's taking just the reins off. It's like willy-nilly now. Just do whatever you want to do.
A favor to Tunis.
Is this a new thing? Willy-nilly. We're doing everything.
Is Chuck in today?
Exactly.
Is Chuck in tomorrow?
The invitational. Yeah, that looks like a star-studded event.
Yeah, he usually gets some big names there.
It is pretty crazy if you're ever there because all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's Andre Reed.
That's awesome.
And then there's work done. Oh,
there's awesome.
Hello, Joe Flacco.
See? Some good stuff. Good job, Jaws. Let me start this hour with a little public service announcement because I'm trying to figure something out. So the Sixers are a really good team that underachieved. We all agree on that? Underachieving, really good team. Phillies, a mediocre team that is still managing to underachieve, being below 500.
Yes.
The Eagles are a rebuilding team that might exceed expectations, but few doubt that they're going to accomplish anything of merit. So for you, what is the easiest team to watch? Is it the Sixers, who give you a lot of great moments all year long, a lot of entertainment, and then gag at the end when it's most painful? Or is it to watch a Phillies team that you keep thinking and hoping is going to put it together and go on a run? Or is it to watch the team that has no expectations like the Eagles that might exceed? What's the easiest to watch?
The easiest is, for me, the Eagles because they're the least frustrating. At least heading into this season, and it all, I guess, comes back to what your expectations are for each team. With this Eagles team, I don't expect much. I expect at most, absolute
7?
most, yeah, like 7-8 wins, and
7 or 8's a really good year.
That's best case scenario. Normally, your best case scenario
what
is
do you expect?
Get in the playoffs.
What do you expect?
I don't expect them to be a playoff team.
I don't either.
So knowing that, I can go into it looking for the developmental pieces to hopefully form a strong foundation, and that's easier for me to watch and get behind than the heartbreak of the Sixers or the frustrations every day of the Phillies.
Pat?
Mine's the Sixers because 90% of the ride was a blast, and I was invested in it. The Phillies, how inconsistent they are, that's more frustrating to me because, you know, it's like that Geico commercial with the dollar. Like, here, grab it. And you try to grab it, and they just won't let you.
I love that commercial.
It's a great commercial, but that's how I feel. I feel like I'm trying to grab the dollar. Like, it's right there, and they're almost going to give it to you. Oh, 4-game losing streak. The Eagles, to me, is like a Shailene Woodley movie. Nobody looks forward to it. No one's disappointed by it. It's just kind of there. It's there, and you can watch it, and you're going to forget about it. And that's the Eagles season to me. There's things to look for with this Eagles team, sure, but am I jacked to watch this squad that I think is going to win 6 games. Not really. But with the Sixers, at least, while it was a disappointing ending and very frustrating, I'm still not over it. 95% of the season was great, you know, and you can never take that away from me. I enjoyed that run.
It was a great run.
But,
the ending sucked. Hindsight being 2020.
But at the end, I'm going to look back at this year as sucking.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Skyler asked me about the 2021 Sixers season. I'm going to say it sucked.
Look, my kid keeps asking to go to a Sixers game, and I keep having to tell him they choked. Like, that's not fun for me.
Does the end of the year always define the year?
More often than not.
A lot of times, yeah.
Like, Pat says, I enjoyed
so much fun watching the Sixers.
I enjoyed the run up to it. I didn't enjoy the end of it, you know.
Yeah, but I'm looking back at it with 2020 revisionist goggles, and I go, well, that sucked.
Well, I'll keep my movie analogy. It's like a great movie with a crappy ending. You know, the crappy ending that could literally ruin an entire movie.
Game of Thrones is awesome.
Yes.
But what do people talk about at the end? How bad the finale was.
Yeah,
that's what stays with you. That's the taste left in your mouth. So I can't look back at this Sixers season, and while I enjoyed it in the moment, I can't look back at it and say I enjoyed this season.
Comparing Bran Stark to getting becoming the leader or whatever you want to call it, getting the throne, to losing at the Hawks is one of your best analogies you've ever had. I want to give it up to you.
The Phillies season, how engaged I always am, just really it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy that I am one of the sheep, that I'm part of the problem. That they know they've got enough people like me who buy gear, buy tickets, watch on TV.
This is
that they don't feel like they have to be responsive.
This is one of the more frustrating Philly seasons, not because we had World Series aspirations, but just because you figured the bullpen couldn't be that bad again. And while their ERA isn't nearly as bad, second worst of all time, they're still blowing games at an astronomical rate. And it's the same problem again. So it's really frustrating this year.
As our good buddy Bob Cooney often says, this is what a 500 team does.
Who?
Bob Cooney.
Yeah, he's
talked about him a little bit, but he often says, like, this is what they are. And I think the frustrating thing with this Phillies team, though, is they continue to shoot themselves in the foot with boneheaded decisions by their manager or errors in the field or whatever it is, blown saves. I mean, it's a comedy of errors that you kind of like last year. You looked at last year and you said if their bullpen could have been right, they would have been in the playoffs. And this year you look at it like, well, if they could play a lick of defense and they could hammer down saves, they would be in first place.
They were better last year than they are this year.
I agree with you.
The Phillies.
But you know,
the Phillies were the second team in baseball last year
their offense was
having leads.
Yeah.
No. The Dodgers and then the Phillies had the most leads. Most games where they had the lead. And the Phillies blew it.
That's what makes them so...
They're not as good. They've regressed.
Sure. But that's what makes it so frustrating is you know somewhere in there is a good baseball team and talent, and they just can't string it together.
This 4th of July, the rockets, red glare, and the bombs bursting in air are brought to you by Backyards across America with Phantom Fireworks. Visit fireworks.com and find the Phantom Fireworks location closest to you. Will you light off fireworks this week, Jamie?
Absolutely not.
You will not. Pat, will you?
I am not a fireworks fan.
You're not a fan of going to it?
Yeah.
Or are you lighting them yourself?
Nah, both.
I've seen people put on the fireworks, and it's amazing science to me.
My cousin George down in Longport does a big 4th of July. Like he kind of, the town no longer did it, so he kind of stepped in and does it for him, hires somebody. It's a hell of a show, and it's quite a production. But for the most part,
you're afraid you're going to hand blown off?
No, just I'm too old for that stuff anymore.
Bob in Florida joins us. Bob, good morning. You're on The Fanatic.
Good morning. Love the show. Keep it rolling.
Thank you, buddy.
To your last point, Eagles are clearly the team to watch. I'll make the Sixers an event, or Sixers a game, Phillies a game, Flyers a game, Eagles are an event. And I think that I don't believe there's been a repeat champion. We have a chance. If we remember 2017, it was all about Cowboys. We got a shot at this. I know it's crazy to say
a shot at it? A shot at what?
A shot at the division. I know it's crazy to say that. I know it would be more advantageous for us to actually lose to get the potential, if Hurts isn't good, to get the picks. But you always go for it. You never know what could happen. I like the know-nothing thing. Even Chip Kelly's first year, it was fun. Doug's first year, I say, look, roll with the fun. We've got too much. Roll with the fun.
I like it. Roll with the fun. That should be the slogan. Roll with the fun. Roll with the fun.
I mean, even in 2017.
By the way, you're sitting in Bob's chair and you're doing the turn the mic on and off thing?
I always do
you do that too?
Because I take sips of coffee and I clear my throat and stuff
Pat,
like that.
you turn it on and off because you're in there. Coach would be overheard yelling at you.
Yeah, no, you can usually hear Coach. If I had it on the whole time, you could hear Coach yelling, "Would John just shut up?"
Crunching
and I don't want that going over.
magic spoon?
Yeah, he's a savage in here.
It's more I don't want my coffee slurps to go out over the air or if I one of those.
All right, I'm checking out some of the YouTube chat this morning. And a lot of talk about Anthony Gargano's bagster. About what would be in the bagster.
He said he's got like 2 storage units that he hasn't touched in over a decade, and I can't imagine what's in there.
And Ben doesn't understand libertarianism. He says, John, for somebody being seemingly pretty libertarian, you like telling people how to live their lives a lot. Ben, the whole idea of libertarian is I don't care what you do as long as it doesn't affect me. And a dumpster being in someone's driveway affects my view, my house, my thing, if it's next to me. So that's all I'm saying is for your neighbors, I don't think you leave the dumpster and the bag out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're doing a major renovation to your house.
I think 2 weeks is about the limit.
That you'd understand. 2 weeks to clean out your garage or clean out your basement?
Hey, people have busy lives. Yeah, Anthony's coaching T-ball and running the kids around.
I thought it was over. I thought baseball was over.
I don't know. Don't they play summer baseball?
Yeah, baseball's never over.
I thought it was over.
I don't know. Life's
Ball
busy.
Don't stop.
It's hard.
No, I thought I heard that it was over.
If he's got to go to the storage unit, bring stuff back, it becomes a whole process.
Okay.
My motto in life is nothing's ever easy.
Is Anthony a putterer? Do you think it's one of those things where
probably
the bagster gets delivered, and then it takes Anthony 4 days to start filling it?
Yes, probably.
Okay, so you know him a lot better than I do.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
So a job that could have taken 2 days ends up taking 10 or 12?
Yeah, potentially.
And is Anthony going through stuff going, I want to throw this out, and then says, before it goes in the bagster, he says, I can't throw that out.
Well, you got to put it in the maybe pile first before it's the yes or no pile.
How much could you, if I put a bagster in your driveway today, and you guys have been in this house less than a year, right?
Yeah.
Could you fill it?
No. Because we did a big purge as we moved.
So you did one.
That's the best time to do it.
Pat, purge?
Absolutely.
You could absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Well, you realize during this stuff how little you actually need. So, could I fill it? Yes. But, some stuff in the garage is worth keeping around,
But again, though, it's the idea that it's a... I do want somebody looking out for... it does affect... Your neighbor affects you.
Sure. I share a driveway with my neighbor.
Like I told you the story before about the lady who lived next door to us, and we had post and rail fences between yards. So you can see into your neighbor's yard. There's no privacy fences were allowed because it's on a golf course. So she literally abandoned her lawn when her and her husband split.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And the weeds and stuff like that were coming right over into our yard. And so I took the Roundup and went out and just did right across her fence and did the Roundup to kill the weeds from coming over into our yard. Little did I know how good the product was.
That Roundup's no good, though.
No, the old Roundup.
Oh, they've changed the formula?
Yeah, they changed it. Yeah, don't go by the lawsuit ads. Yes, It's perfectly safe now. But I sprayed it. I mean, I used one of those spray things. Mm-hmm. I went all along our fence line and sprayed it right through the post and rail fence. It burned the weeds out.
Yeah, I know. That stuff works.
And it burned everything out. And she was like, what the hell happened?
I don't know. That's weird.
Like, oh, my gosh, that is strange. It's a strange kind of fungus that went right up along your line there with the lawn. Is that a violation, Pat? No, she doesn't take care of her lawn.
No, her stuff's coming over into your area.
Again, I don't care what you're doing. In fact, I would wish you had a privacy fence. So you can do whatever the hell you want in your backyard.
I'm
where I don't have to deal with it.
I'm fenceless with both my neighbors in the backyard.
You like your neighbors?
Yeah, they're great.
Good people?
Great people so far. I hope there's no skeletons in the closet, but I don't think Nelson and Tom have, and Karen and Pat have those.
Do you have a problem with kids playing in your yard?
No.
I love one of my favorite sounds.
Is kids playing?
Love it.
So our neighborhood, there's a creek in the back that kind of connects us all. And I've been told because both the neighbors have been there for a while, that it was just like free range of the backyards. Kids just run the whole neighborhood.
Right.
Kind of playing in the creek and people's backyards. And I was like, that's awesome. Please come run through our creek.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Jamie's got a bucket of free candy out there.
Pennywise,
step into my van.
Yeah, he's got a van. If it gets hot out, they can turn on the
kids,
AC.
The AC's on in here.
He's not allowed within 500 feet of a school, but whatever.
Well, that's a different story, Pat.
In the linchpin, Jamie says that
this is good transition.
History was not so kind to the Phillies.
This is the linchpin.
What the Phillies blew this weekend was an immense opportunity. The starting pitching numbers that they put up this weekend were nothing short of freaking incredible. A 4-game series from your starters, you got 23.1 innings pitched, only 15 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 1, 5 walks, 26 Ks, good for a .039 ERA. If you told me on Thursday you would get those numbers from your starting pitching, I'd say you at least won 3. You probably swept the series. They split. As the great Jason Stark pointed out, they blew 4 leads in 2 games. That's unbelievable.
Worse than the Sixers.
Yeah. What Aaron Nola did on Friday is something that's incredible. There have been 312 no-hitters in Major League history, only 23 perfect games, but only 2 guys, 2, have done what Aaron Nola did on Friday, Tom Seaver and Aaron Nola, and you wasted it. You wasted a historic performance, something that's never been really done much ever in baseball, and you squandered it. If I was a Philly starting pitcher, I wouldn't even be able to look at my team right now, because they just went out in the biggest series of the year and pitched to near perfection, and they couldn't get it done for their pitchers.
Ugly. Pat, I said over the weekend I was dangling the toe tag on Friday.
Yep.
I will delay it for another week. They had a chance, I thought, 3 out of 4, but 2 out of 2 and 2 was going to sustain them from being declared dead. It was ugly.
It sucked, and the worst part is, you could kind of feel it. You could kind of feel it on Friday that they didn't tack on runs, and would this bullpen be able to get out of it? It didn't feel like, at least to me, that they were going to be able to. The decision to pitch to Francisco Lindor, I know he's having a down season. He's still Francisco Lindor, and that ended up burning you. And, the errors the other day, it's just like, it's I said it earlier, it's a comedy of errors that is leading to this team
so bad
being completely out of it when they don't have to be. They could be contending.
Could have easily been contending.
I don't mind you blowing 1 game, but you should have swept this series, at the very least taken 3 or 4, and you didn't. And that, it
1 earned run.
Chaps my ass, as they say.
Yeah. 1 earned run.
It's ridiculous.
All right,
what the hell?
Our YouTube crew is in rare form today.
Oh boy, what now?
I said it's one of the funny lines. Jamie rocking Mr. Snuffy's on you today.
Oh, what did he say, Snuff?
He says Jamie's got on those Murder, She Wrote glasses today.
Do I have my Angela Lansbury's on? Does she have glasses?
It's the Murder, She Wrote glasses on today. They're killing you. And then gentleman says,
I think they're nice glasses.
I like them.
Thanks, Pat.
Do you want one of the I don't know which one it is saying, do you want JK as a neighbor? What kind of a neighbor would Kincaid be? And then there's some debate about whether I'd be a good neighbor or a bad neighbor. Your kids can play in my yard.
That's cool.
So I got no problem there. As long as I don't see your house go to crap, where I have to look at I'm looking at, some rundown house.
Every neighborhood's got that one house that doesn't keep their lawn
I don't want it next to me. I don't want that one next to me, so I don't know if that's unfair or not.
Are you a chatty neighbor?
No.
Right,
I'm not.
All right, you can live next door to me.
No, I'm not the neighbor who wants to engage you as I'm putting out the trash or, getting the mail. Like I don't want to stop and, hey, Pat, How's that oil change going as you're changing oil in the driveway? No.
All right,
that's not me.
You can live near me.
No, not what that. No, friendly neighbor.
Yeah, you say hi, but then you
absolutely.
keep it
Hey,
moving.
how you doing? I don't want to be a neighbor where you're in and out of my house. Like, you know how some neighbors are like, they become like where they just come in and out of each other's houses?
Yeah, there was a show.
I don't want that.
Back in like the 90s.
What was it called?
Seinfeld.
Well, that's apartments.
And the one neighbor just came right into the other guy's apartment all the time.
What was his name?
Kramer.
Kramer. Yeah, it was. Yeah, good. So, all right, we got a lot coming up for you. You want to make us a believer? Make it. Make us. Try. Make us. Next, it's a John Kincaid Show on The Fanatic. The Parks Casino Sportsbook app, it's what's going to get me through until football season. Why? Well, I've got the NBA Finals coming up. I've got the Stanley Cup Finals beginning tonight. I've got Phillies baseball where I can bet against the Phillies bullpen at every single turn and maybe add to Olivia's college fund. I love betting futures too. So you have the opportunity to bet futures in the NFL and more. Check out the same game parlays on baseball though. Bet your team to win, bet the over-under. And you've seen the Phillies bullpen, you can take care of business. New customers, sign up right now. And you're going to get your first bet risk-free up to $500. I want you to download the app today. It's a fun thing to do, and you can use it as long as you're in the state of Pennsylvania. Or go to parkscasino.com/PA and use the promo code FANATIC. Your first bet risk-free up to $500. You do not have to bet a team to win. With all the in-game wagering, you can be like playing fantasy sports right there on your phone. You got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania. If you got a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
97.5 The Fanatic. .97.5 The Fanatic.
Remember that Martin Law is the law firm for injured workers. Visit paworkinjury.com. Did we just injure Coach there?
Emotionally, but that's nothing we don't do every day.
We were just saying to Coach, why doesn't he take something here at the office that could be taken care of? Why is he not taking care of it?
He's got wieners on the grill on the brain.
We're asking him to take care of an issue here in the office, and he
love the big wiener.
He honestly ignored us. I think he ignored
I don't give a
terribly.
That's what he said. That's my favorite new drop. I heard it like 5 times in my head on Sunday. I don't care.
It's just easier to ignore.
You know what's great is
Jagaloons.
Get this, you talk about the okay, I would have a problem with the house next to me being a rundown dump. And then you get people that are like Ben. Ben, if there's a rundown, he says, if there's a rundown house, that hurts property value. But a dumpster for 2 weeks does no harm. Is it an eyesore? Sure. You just admitted it's an eyesore. I don't want it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they have a right to leave an eyesore out because it's a sore eye to you.
You have a right to have an eyesore out. So you could leave, if you wanted to put a car up in your driveway in cinder blocks.
You could, yeah. I don't have to like it.
You think as your neighbor, that's cool to do to your neighbors?
I mean, it's their house.
But one man's eyesore is another man's art.
I'm not telling you it's not selfish.
What do you think about that? Like, your neighbor wants to put up a car on cinder blocks, wants to...
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, like with the Bagster, I know...
That's temporary.
I know that it's temporary.
Yeah, but...
I know that eventually it'll be out of there.
Temporary should be what?
I mean, I'm fine with 2 weeks.
I think 2 weeks
doesn't really affect me.
If you're not doing if you're renovating your home, I am totally for it. That's cool.
He's renovating his storage unit and garage space.
No, he's throwing out stuff.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, does it really affect me?
No. Doesn't bother you?
No, not really. I mean, it's not going to make a difference.
There's too much in this life and world that does affect me that I try not to worry about the little stuff.
Do you like a noisy neighbor?
Something was going on in our neighborhood last night. It sounded like somebody got like new dirt bikes or carts or something. It sounded like a damn NASCAR race.
They might, in your neighborhood, they might have actually gotten a real life NASCAR.
I don't think so.
You mean driving on driving on the streets?
I like quiet, but when I hear kids playing, I go, that's cool. That's what they should be doing.
Kids, I love playing.
Yeah.
Adults?
There's been a lot of graduation parties and parties going on. People party in my neighborhood, which I respect.
We had a guy named Sheldon, and it's not my wife and daughter.
You're getting choked up about speaking about this.
No,
okay,
Sheldon
John, man, don't throw it.
Sheldon was a grown man going through a midlife crisis.
You get the
in our neighborhood. No, he had to spin wheels every time leaving the neighborhood.
That's a little lame.
He had to make the Because he had a small whatever.
Yeah. So you're saying he's overcompensating for
and
something.
He constantly had to do that. He constantly had to and it would be 6:45 in the morning.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Come on, man.
10:15 at night. Type of thing.
That deserves a paintball.
And why he did this all because he had a small.
I think that's probably
Love the big wiener.
I think that's probably the reason. That was always my speculation.
Did you ask him?
No, I'm not going to ask.
Nothing wrong with that medical
I'm not
condition.
asking another man
It's
about
not
that.
small. It's just pencil thin.
Baby pinky.
Maybe told him though we have some doctors who could help him here that advertise on Fanatic.
Sure,
they could help him out. It's up to. It gets us back to the conversation we had earlier about whether we set the expectations for the teams, the media sets the fans set the expectations, or whether the teams do. The idea that the Phillies right now have another week to make us believers. They've got another opportunity to play the Reds tonight in a terrible thing, having to fly back to Cincinnati to play one game. I mean, that just to me is terrible.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That they're making them do that. Okay, you're going to fly back for a one-game makeup. I believe Cincinnati has not come to Philadelphia yet. I didn't think they had. Maybe they already have.
No, I
think they already have.
Did they?
No, they haven't.
I was going to say, I don't remember Joey Votto in town.
That game should be replayed. Should have been replayed here.
Yes.
There's no reason for them to fly back for one game, but they do it. Major League Baseball makes them do it. But they got another week here. So you get 6 games at home after the Reds. 3 with the Marlins, 3 with the Padres.
This is where you take advantage, right?
Padres are really
No, I know they are.
That's a great.
Tatis Jr. has like a dislocated shoulder, and he's like first or second in baseball in home runs. The guy's a freak.
Well, I think
when are we going to get one of them?
He's unbelievable.
Wander Franco.
This is one. Okay, so it's coming up to it again. Tomorrow we open up with the Marlins. It's another Marlins series.
Oh, boy. At home, right?
Look,
there's no excuses.
This is the opportunity for, again, get yourself back. Get something rolling here. Get some sort of momentum because you're going into the All-Star break. And honestly, I guess that's when you have to make the decision about whether you're sellers or buyers. Because after the All-Star game, you've got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
To make any decision. The one question I have is this. What the hell are the Phillies selling? Let's say it was Anthony's Bagster. The Phillies roster has more people going in Anthony's Bagster than are going that somebody's going to say, I want that, right? If Anthony's house, instead of having the Bagster, he had a yard sale, how much in the Phillies roster is really, because the stuff that's good you want to keep. You want to keep what's good, and the other stuff,
I guess it depends on how big the yard sale is, right? I mean, if it's a yard sale where you're getting rid of your couch, then, maybe you listen to offers for some of the pieces that people want. If it's a yard sale where you're just trying to clean out your garage and get rid of some crap, then you probably don't have high expectations. But if I'm the Phillies, I mean, that's a question that only about maybe 3 or 4 people can answer.
I mean, right now, marketable for the Phillies.
I mean, if you wanted to sell Aaron Nola, you could.
No, but I don't want to do that.
Well,
even I don't want to do that.
I hear you, but it depends. They have to define where they are, what the next 3 years is, and what pieces are most important to protect. Otherwise, they should probably listen to offers on anyone.
Who are you protecting, Pat? If you made we're going to do this tomorrow, so I shouldn't say that to you. But
I'll tell you. Since we're doing it tomorrow, I'll tell you guys that I do think they could get something for. Not necessarily guys that are going to command top prospects or even good prospects, but if you're a team that's looking to contend, and thinks you can win. I mean, a veteran guy like Andrew McCutchen might be enticing.
Maybe.
Good locker room guy will keep everything loose. If I'm the Phillies, I'm probably trying to get out of Odubel Herrera.
Here's one where David says to us from earlier in the conversation about Rhys Hoskins. He said, John, did you ever suspect that Rhys Hoskins just wants out of this godforsaken franchise and wants to go someplace where he has a chance to win? I understand his frustration.
I don't. He's part of the frustration.
Correct. It's like, to me, I don't want to misconstrue that, but David's giving him a free pass.
He's not suitable for the field of play. He
Correct.
is a DH and a DH only. That has been determined. He came up being a left fielder.
So Rhys Hoskins,
is a joke.
Rhys Hoskins wants to. Do you ever think he just wants out and he's frustrated? He wants to go play for a contender. He's part of the reason this team isn't a contender.
Yeah, he's limited to the AL only at this point until it opens up to all of baseball. He literally cannot play the field.
Okay, right now,
literally,
right field, subpar defense. First base, subpar defense.
Way subpar.
Third base, subpar defense.
The worst in baseball.
It's easier to go through the positions where you're not subpar.
Even Didi was way subpar.
Catcher, you're exceptional.
Yeah.
Defensively.
Catcher might be the only position.
I mean, it's the only one where you're above average.
Yeah.
It's the worst Phillies defensive team I've ever seen.
I guarantee you, watching the work that JT did defensively behind the plate this weekend, the amount of times he blocked balls and stuff like that. I mean, Carter Hart would have had 6 goals against average.
There was one.
They were all getting by Carter Hart.
There's one, I forget what game it was, but it should have gone by him, and he was able to deflect it like off his leg, off his shoulder, and keep it in front. It was really impressive.
And it got the game to extra innings, if I'm not mistaken. It saved the game, potentially.
Yeah, I think that was when they were trying to get Nearest to have a 5-out save. Genius. Or no, maybe Alvarado get a 5-out save.
Can we hear the long form Rhys Hoskins answer?
You want to do this to yourself again?
Because when he's asked about, the defensive struggles that he's having, here's what he chose to do.
I'm sure you're going to write about the defense. Yeah, the last couple of nights we haven't made a couple plays that we should have, for sure. And I think I would definitely tell you that. I think Bomer would tell you that last night. So if you're going to write about that, obviously write about it, but don't forget to write about the great things today. Eflin outdueled DeGrom in maybe the biggest game of the year, right? A game that we knew that we had to win. We had great at-bats off DeGrom. I don't know how many strikeouts he ended up, but I'm going to guess it was a season low. We had the lead going into the late innings again on the road in a pretty hostile environment today. So sure, write about the defense, write about how I didn't catch the ball, but just don't forget to write about the really good things too.
Rhys, I want to give you a little heads up. You aren't doing your job to an adequate level. So the last thing you need to do is to tell Jim Salisbury and anyone else how to do theirs. You can't do your job well. So you don't need to be doling out advice to anyone else on how they do theirs. It's ridiculous. The fact that write about the good stuff, I'm still trying to figure out what's the good stuff.
The good stuff
Everybody wrote about the pitching.
Yeah,
and every single outlet that covered the games.
I don't know what he's talking about because there's nothing good that hasn't been covered.
He's deflecting. He's deflecting all this criticism, and he's going left and he's going right, and he's saying, looks like he's doing a Tybo.
I don't know how he's getting worse. Like, he's somehow gotten worse at playing first base. You put the guy at first base that can hit only and can, dig a ground ball out and basically dig a throw out. That's kind of where you hide defensive liabilities. When you become a defensive liability at that position, you've become a DH. And that's what you are, Rhys.
Yes.
That's the reality of the situation is you ruined the good performances by your pitching staff. So there is no good to tell without the bad. Duh.
If they get rid of Rhys Hoskins, are you fine with it?
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Pat?
I'm not crushed.
You're not crushed.
I questioned it 2 years ago if this guy was what we thought he was.
Well, I think it's telling, too, that they haven't signed him to a long-term extension. They haven't even gone into but they haven't even gone in conversations about it. He jumped on the scene hitting like 17 home runs in 20 games or whatever. They didn't even consider inking him to a long-term deal. Yeah, giving him the Kingery deal. And he's got 2 years left of arbitration, and that is enticing for a team.
Now, remember the Kingery deal, though. They were able to lock that down.
God.
They were able to get that at a great price. But, wait a minute.
Well, it's not a bad price.
Before his first Major League, it's a terrible deal.
I mean, I hate to say that
it's one of the most terrible contracts ever signed.
Rhys Hoskins is a dime a dozen in Major League Baseball.
Pat.
It's not.
It's one of the worst.
Pat.
Yeah.
He's never done anything.
There was no reason to do it.
There was no reason to do it.
I could give you guys who were drafted who got more money than him, and
at the Major League level, they don't pay guys like that before they start. Before they even start, it was the stupidest thing ever. Especially a guy like, what do you mean it's a new trend?
It's a new trend. It is. It started with Jonathan Singleton in Houston, who, by the way, didn't do anything. Kingery did it, and then the White Sox have done it with 2 guys, including Luis Robert.
That's not a trend.
So
There's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. There are new
Do you think
teams.
it's going away? Because I don't.
That is not a trend.
I'll tell you right now, I don't think it's going away. I think
What
you're
year
gonna
was
see it
Jonathan
more and more.
Singleton? 2014?
13 or 15, maybe?
No, I think it was 13. I think it was early.
All right, so we're talking about 4 guys in 8 years of
That's
baseball.
not a
That's
trend.
not a trend.
All right.
Not a thing.
All right, we'll see.
And Kingery...
I mean, you guys act like he's getting $10 million. He's getting 4.
Doesn't matter.
There was a drop in the bucket.
But you could have had him paying for $600,000.
I understand why.
That's why you don't do it.
I understand why the deal is bad. My point is, it's not the. You guys constantly say it's the worst deal in baseball. It's not even close.
Because you didn't have to do it.
But that doesn't mean it's the worst deal in baseball.
Because
it's $4 million.
You don't do it. No, the worst deals might end up being a 13-year deal. Could end up being, though. Especially if you only can play him at first base.
Nah.
You need first base. He can't play defensively.
Nah.
Yeah. No. I'm telling you, who's Billy Mumphrey on this show?
You stop over
And
there.
by the way, in 2023, you're paying Kingery $8.25 million, and he's not here.
But what is he getting now?
4.25, 6.2 next year.
He's not here either.
I'm focused on the present,
That's
gentlemen. I'm not
$20 million.
focused on 2023.
That's $20 million.
I don't even know if I'm going to be here in 2023,
Over the next
Jamie.
3 years, John Middleton.
Keep with takes like this, and I can tell you.
Ask John Middleton how he feels about paying $20 million over the next 3 years for a guy.
Well, the
that's
man said stupid money, Jamie.
No, but Pat says that's not a bad deal.
I mean,
No. Now you're putting. Now I'm pissed off because now you're putting words in my mouth. I said it's not the worst deal in baseball, which is what you said.
He's never contributed a damn thing.
It is not the worst deal in baseball. It's just not.
The fact that he didn't have to. The fact that baseball.
He had 22 home runs one year, so he did contribute at one point.
You signed a guy before you even played at Major League game.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Terrible,
and it didn't pay off.
The fact that baseball.
He had 22 home runs one year, so he did contribute at one point.
You signed a guy before you even played at Major League game.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Terrible,
and it didn't pay off.
Stupid.
But I don't think.
Strategy.
I think the logic might be there.
Which is the tell us again. Now let's do the center field situation, Pat. If you really want to.
What about
your boys in center field? I'm just wondering how your boys in center field.
Oh, the guy that I said just don't give up on because he had 150 at bats.
Mm-hmm.
That I said, by the way, multiple times. I don't know. He could be bad, but let's see how it works out. You mean that guy?
I got to tell you this. I do like the best guy that they had because he's better than everybody else. I do like that. So, Bob Cooney did dirty laundry. And Pat wants to call out Bob, and Bob's not here to defend himself.
Wow, this is messed up.
This is not good.
Sounds like a Bob problem.
Okay, go on.
Let me.
What potentially could have gotten him in trouble?
Well, let me hit the button.
Okay.
Oh, let's air out our dirty laundry.
Bob Cooney's a jackass.
Wow.
All right? Let me just start off by saying that.
That's
all right?
terrible.
Now, I know that me and John didn't see eye to eye about 37 seconds ago, but you know what? We're back on track.
Okay, how are we back on track?
I'm a big John Kincaid guy. John went out.
He's thinking about 2023.
Yeah. Well, no. And presently, I'm a big John Kincaid guy. In 2023, it's going to get real bad. John, you went on vacation.
Yep.
You went to a palatial beach.
Yes, resort. Okay. Beautiful.
How many pictures did you send us from the beach?
Zero.
By
the way, you didn't, and I was told by somebody.
We didn't believe you that you were going to check out. Yeah, I didn't.
I was told by somebody who had ears on all of you that you all doubted. Guess what? That you all doubted that I would check out.
I did, yeah.
It's good to know that we have a rat in the building.
Because it's a hard thing to do.
But I told you that this is what I do.
But it's hard to do.
Jamie, the big story here is the fact that we have a rat.
Yeah.
Who's talking.
Yeah. Somebody heard you talking.
All right.
Said they all doubt that you're going to check out. I said, well, they don't know me yet.
I did
They
doubt.
don't know that.
It's
That's
just because in general, it's a hard thing to do to not look at your phone.
It is. So what happened?
Yeah,
real quick. Snitches get stitches, man. Old rules. Snitches get stitches.
Pat, I will be at the beach next Tuesday and Wednesday. I do not plan on sending you any pictures.
No. So that's the right thing to do because we're on vacation and this guy he's on vacation. We're not. We're sitting here working, getting up at 5 a.m. Bob Cooney yesterday decides to actually text us.
That's why you get here
and
at 5.
Email us a picture of where he is, on the beach, and he did it unsolicited. He decided because this is to take people behind the curtain. We all send our topics before the show, so we can put it together. We don't send exactly what our takes are, but we send our topics.
I was a little duped by his email,
and he sends an email out
for
his topic, which was a picture from the beach.
But it did say Cooney's Corner on the top of the subject line. So
Wait a minute.
He's sitting there peacocking about him being on vacation when we have to get up.
You know what? I hope he has a bad weather day.
He's a coward.
I hope he's not, because he's on the Comcast Business Hotline.
Bring the coward on
a day off. Bob, what are you doing?
You want some of this, Egan?
You want to go? Well, I'd love to go. You're on the beach, though. We all know that because you sent us 13 pictures.
If I wasn't barefoot and making omelets with sausage and cheese right now, I'd come in there and kick your ass.
What kind of cheese you working with here, Bob?
I would have doing a little mozzarella.
Oh, all right.
It sounds good.
Yeah. I was sharing a moment with you guys. I was basically saying, hey, guys, thinking of you, even though it's 80 degrees and beautiful and I may have a beer in my hand. I was just wanted to say hi and thinking of you.
Come on.
And I get this from you.
Wait. The important thing, Bob, what kind of breakfast meat are we working with?
Sausage.
All right.
Jimmy Dean sausage.
All right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Jimmy Dean sausage. Good. Bob, though, I mean, seriously, when are you heading out to the beach, though?
No, we came home last night. So today is a relaxation, do some things around the house kind of day.
So he could have come in.
I'm going to put some more stuff in my Bagster out.
Oh, you are? All right. Now, we were judging earlier. Do you believe if the Bagster goes in Anthony's driveway,
right?
How many days before something goes in the Bagster? Like, does he get around to it or not?
Yeah, it might take more time than he would have. Yeah. I could see Anthony hemming and hawing a little bit.
Like, I see Anthony being one of those guys, everything that gets to go in the Bagster, he contemplates saving it.
My wife is a little bit like that, too. It's kind of, her range of sentimental value is way wider than mine.
See, there you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, yeah,
let the boy watch.
Let's go.
There you go.
So. I missed you. I can't wait to
Love
see
you, Bob. See you, buddy.
All right,
there you go. And Egan, you better watch yourself.
I don't appreciate forced FOMO. You know, there's the fear of missing out, and then there's people that force it upon you. They force that fear on you, and that's what Bob Cooney did. He sent me a picture of the beach, and I'm in the mean streets of.
Now, there's a difference though between like if you go to you go to New York and you're on vacation.
Yeah,
like I hate that my girls love Disney. I don't hate that. They love Disney. But I hate that Disney makes me carry my cell phone. That now everything's on now everything has to be on the phone. I remember going. I
thought they did bracelets there. You have to have the phone.
Yeah, but you got to be able to, if you want to book your stuff, you have to be able to.
Yeah, that sucks.
You have to do that. They've now forced you onto your phone. By the way, they're taking away the bracelets.
Really?
I like the bracelets.
They're going to go.
Well, sporting events are becoming.
They're moving that. And they're doing it in prototype right now. They're moving it to your phone.
Sports is going towards the way of the phone, too.
I hate it.
I hate it.
Between the tickets and the MLB and the seats thing.
I love the Magic Bands at Disney. Wearing the Magic Band.
Yeah.
Just hitting it. There's your ticket. There's your gets in. Now they're going to move you to your phone.
I hate it.
They're prototyping it right now.
Like, I love having ticket stubs and saved memory, and the ballpark app is brutal. I've actually asked before, like, hey, can you just reprint me tickets to the box office? And they don't do it.
Why don't they do it?
I got to talk to my ticket rep and find out.
Well, he's probably into his second adult Capri Sun this morning, so I'm not sure.
I love Maddie.
Oh my gosh, that's not good if he's drinking on a Monday morning. Bob was drinking though.
Good for him.
That's good. He's having
something about the beach and pools just make you want to drink.
Oh boy, that is unbelievable. I will tell you this. Is that I'm expecting, I want more positivity tomorrow, because today sort of drags me down.
Well, there's not much to be positive about.
But guess what? I will absolutely find it. I'm going to find it.
Good luck.
I'm going to find it, I promise you.
All right.
I promise it. Remember to support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partner, Adam Mechanical Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing, in making a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today at 975thefanatic.com/AACR, because cancer research saves lives. So, we got a man in a basketball jersey and a short-sleeve shirt and a backwards hat getting ready to be on the Anthony Gargano show coming up. I don't know who that is. We'll check it out next. Stick around with us. Stay with the Fanatic all day long and have a great Monday, everybody.
The Beauty Brand's annual leader sale is here! Save up to 70% on fabulous salon brands like Biolage, Redken, Joico, and Kenra. Over 200 of your favorite shampoos and conditioners starting at just $15.98 each. Visit beautybrands.com.